Facebook. Comment away. That's what we're going to be doing tonight from here in the booth. Darius Walker, former Notre Dame great. I'm Chris Hassel. And I want to go back to the 2-minute mark of the first half for both of these two teams.
Okay.
Utah State had a 10-0 lead on number 9 Wisconsin. Idaho State was losing 6-0 to a Division II team. And then everything hit the fan.
Yeah, in a good way for Idaho State and in a bad way for Utah State. I mean, the second halves could not have gone much more different. For Idaho State, they put up 37 unanswered points in the second half to win that game. And Utah State just looked like a completely different team in the second half. Wisconsin scored 59 unanswered points. But what that really tells you is that momentum-wise, Idaho State they got it right now, and they got the momentum in this game. It should make for an interesting contest, at least early.
This guy is chomping at the bit to get back out there. Jalen Davis had a huge sack early on in that game against Wisconsin. It was 10-0. He made a big defensive play. They reviewed it. They said, you know what, let's target him. You're gone. He was ejected. He wasn't happy. His coach wasn't either. That turned the game around.
He certainly was upset, but it really did have a big difference in the game because on that play, it was a third down play. He made the play. They dropped the ball, and they were actually getting off the field on defense.
Right.
Because of the targeting penalty, they got a first down, and the Badgers would go down and put up 7 points. It really changed the trajectory of the game. But Jalen Davis is the heart and soul of this defense. It is clear that without him, they are not really any good.
He watched the rest of that game from the tunnel. You probably saw that on the broadcast if you were watching that football game. Let's talk about the QBs in this game. We might be seeing a lot of points, very up-tempo offenses. First, Kent Myers, the senior for Utah State, known as a guy that doesn't turn the ball over, but he threw 3 interceptions in that game in Madison.
It's really uncharacteristic of him, but he is an experienced quarterback. I mean, he started 5 games as a true freshman, so he's got the talent and he's got the ability to do it. The issues that he's had recently, though, outside of the turnovers, is accuracy issues with throwing downfield. So if he can correct some of those things, the Aggies can put up a bunch of points, Chris.
On the other side of the football, Idaho State going to have to put up a lot of points if they want to stay in this football game. This guy can do it, though. Tanner Guller has a big arm. 3 touchdowns, tying a career high in week 1.
Yeah, he's really mobile in the pocket, too. He knows how to extend plays. I wouldn't really call him a dual threat quarterback, but he's a guy that can give you some extra time, keeps his eyes downfield, and can find wide receivers. He's going to have to put up some points today, and they're going to have to hang on to the ball if they're going to have a chance in this game.
And I know, Darius, you're really big on time of possession in this game. You think Idaho State is going to have to try to slow this game down a little bit to stay in this thing, and the key to that is the run game. And Ty Flanagan, coming off a career-high 100 yards in week 1, had a touchdown as well. Ty Flanagan is a guy they're really high on.
Yeah, they're high on him, and for good reason. I mean, when you watch him on film, he has certainly done an excellent job at running the football. But on the other side, Hunt, he's going to have to do this by himself for the Aggies. I mean, he's used to having Tony Lindsay with him, so he's used to sharing the load in the backfield. But today, Lindsay's out, so he can't go. So it's all Hunt's backfield. So it'll be interesting to watch him from a conditioning standpoint as the game goes on. But the guy we mentioned at the top is Ty Flanagan. He is a tremendous back, a guy who knows how to get yak yards after contact. And you said it, Chris. The Bengals are going to have to slow this football game down for them. They need possessions. They need time of possession. They need to hold on to the ball because they give it over to Utah State. They can put up some points. So it's going to be imperative for them to run the football here today.
Good thing for Idaho State is they had one more day to prepare. They played last Thursday. Utah State played last Friday. It's almost game time. One more check down to the field in Francisco.
Thanks, guys. I spoke to Coach Wells about the heartbreaking losses last year. The Aggies lost 4 games by 7 points or less. So they want to avoid all those problems at the end of games. They want to come out strong as they did, aggressive like they did last week against Wisconsin, despite the heavy lopsided loss actually against the very top Badgers. They want to come up strong once again, use reverse, use play actions, use screens. They want to come run heavy from the beginning. They also want to be physical and be able to get an early lead here against the Bengals. So don't forget, guys, be interactive. Give us your feedback. Give us your comments. This is going to be fun. Guys, back to you.
Francisco, thank you very much. We'll be checking in with him all throughout the game. Remember, if you're new to these Facebook broadcasts, we had a couple of them last week, the very first 2. We don't have commercial breaks. We just go. We just blaze on.
So you and I are just standing up here for the next for its entirety of the game.
No bathroom breaks.
Okay.
Nothing.
Got we certainly have a history here with no bathroom breaks. You see, Utah State, they lead the series 11-2. So the Aggies have really dominated this series. But what's interesting is the last time that Idaho State won was in 2000 here at Utah State. So if that's any serendipity there for the Bengals, maybe they can do it again.
We're underway, Logan, Utah, and that is going to be a touchback. I see that we use the Idaho State notes there because Utah State says that it's not 11-2, it's 15-2. Perhaps Idaho State is Xing out the 1919 game that they lost 136 to nothing.
That was a long time ago. Almost 100 years.
All right, here we go. Let's see what Tanner Guller and company have to do again. Darius is big on time of possession.
Yeah, really going to track that, as the game goes on. I mean, the Bengals have got to try to hold on to this football, which means they're going to have to get first downs, methodical drives down the field. And it's good to see Tanner Guller.
Utah State won the toss, deferred to the second half, and right away going up top, and that will work. Michael Dean makes the catch, but it's called incomplete. Might not have gotten the foot down. Jalen Davis was on the coverage.
I love the route selection there by the Bengals. That time Scooby Reynolds and Michael Dean crossed. Dean was open. Just got to give him a little more of a chance to catch that football in bounds. I like them taking a shot early.
Fake handoff to Flanagan, looking to the right side. That one's caught. Coverage was a little bit off from Hagen Graves, who's able to haul that in for a gain of 10.5 and a first down.
This is a quarterback and a wide receiver that are in sync. Graves going to come right out of his break, and the ball is there. Nice delivery by Tanner. Nice first down, keeping the sticks moving for the Bengals.
3-4 defense for Utah State. And they will force the incomplete pass. It was come off a little too tightly, or a pass that's way too high. He's delivered.
That is not a good sign at all. It means it's come in. Let's take another look at this. He jumped way in the air. Did he come down on that right leg a little weird or odd? Looked like that may have happened.
Look out, Flanagan's into the open field, into the second and third down. He's going out for a first down. Picked up close to 13 yards. Second first down of the opening drive for Idaho State.
If you're Matt Wells and the Utah State Aggies, this is not something that you want to see. Flanagan getting loose to the outside. Nice block by his right tackle, Chase Collins.
Flanagan again.
And up again, he's Ty Flanagan.
Push his way forward for a gain of 4.
Number 19, Ian Sandian.
Again, Chris, we'll be looking at this time of possession right now. The Bengals are putting together a pretty good first offensive series. Hang on to the football and shorten this game.
In the Utah State territory as the students start to make some noise. Home opener in Logan, Utah on a hot night. Over 90 degrees today. That's a keeper. Good for just a couple. Guller tucked it, ran it, smartly slid it, and that'll bring up a third down at about 4 yards.
This is one of the things I really like about Guller is he doesn't really take chances. He's not a really risky guy. He's not going to try to throw it away. If the ball isn't open, tuck the ball, and run. That's an experienced quarterback. Nice job.
Third down and 4. Across the formation comes Hagen Graves. Trips to the left. Now 4 wide receivers split left as Flanagan heads out of the backfield. And Flanagan will get it on the screen. Powers his way. It reaches toward the 42-yard line. Close to a first down. Right at the sticks. It'll depend on the spot.
This is going to be really close. Nice job by Flanagan catching that ball. It was a little bit behind him, but you see the power and the strength there. Ty Flanagan is key in this game.
Timeout for an injury. The ruling on the field was that the runner is short of the line to gain.
The official there, the Mountain West crew, the ruling on the field is that he is short of the first down as we
Aggie down by the
do
way
indeed
too.
have an Aggie player on his back.
If we can't get Francisco to give us a little bit of information on him. But right now, this is exactly the recipe for success for the Bengals. drive the football down the field. We're in a 4th and short situation. More importantly, they're eating up time right now to try to shorten this game so that the Aggies don't have a chance to limit their opportunities on offense.
I believe that was Cameron Haney who was shaking up the ground. Matt Wells in his 5th season at Utah State had a great start. 9 wins in his first year, 10 wins in his second year. It has gone south since then. 6 wins in 2015, bottoming out at 3 last season. 4th down and inches, and it looks as though Idaho State's going to go for it. Flanagan in the backfield as Gunner looks to the side, and now he's changing the formation.
Changing it up here. Again, Flanagan's in the backfield. He's number 24. Hand it off to your back and let him get the first down.
That's what he does, but he's not going to get it. The Aggie defense standing strong.
What a big stop for the Aggies. This front four did not give at all, Chris. Look at all these bodies up front that don't move whatsoever. Big man up front, number 9, Fatu, makes the hit and stops Flanagan. Turnover on that. Excellent stop.
The freshman making the big stop for Utah State. It's our first look at the Aggie offense. It looked all so good in the first quarter and a half against Wisconsin. They'll pull that one back, spin out of the tackle, and Kent Myers is to the outside. Myers to the sideline, picked up at nearly 15 yards and a first down for Utah State. There you see the shiftness from the quick play.
He wanted to throw it, but he saw the color in his face from Christian Holland, the backer. So instead, he just kept the football. Nice heads-up play to get the first down from the senior quarterback.
And again, it's Lawan Hunt who will be getting the majority of the carries tonight in the backfield from Kent Myers, with Tony Lindsay out for this game and maybe for a while. Shoulder injury on that 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown with Wisconsin in second. Straight up the gut to Hunt. And a nice chunk of change on first down. 2nd down and 5 after the pickup.
Love seeing the big man block up front, Chris. That left guard, Miguez, number 68. What an excellent block there to give Hunt some space.
And now the screen pass. Ronquavian Tarver near the red zone, pushed out at the 24-yard line.
This just goes to show you that it was a JUCO transfer a couple of years ago, but they like what they've seen, especially last year. He played a lot of ball for the Aggies last year. It was a nice job of catching that football and getting the first down.
They're going quick again. It's Tarver again, makes a man miss. Almost an opportunity for Idaho State to pick
to have ball security. Let's take a look at this screen to Tarver. Got the big man out front. Love to see those big men out there blocking him. Stiff on him. On the outside. No, sir. Not so, Reed. Get off me, bro.
Not much doing on 2nd down and 10 for Lawan Hunt. Joe Martin in on the stop for Idaho State as they try to force a field goal attempt.
The Aggies are going to continue to not huddle. This is what they do. Keep that tempo going. They're trying to tire out this Bengals defense.
Going 4 wide as we'll see a lot of the night from both of these teams. Might be a high-scoring game. Myers has time, lofts to the end zone, has a man, caught, did he get a foot in? No, he did not. Incomplete. Jordan Nathan, the freshman out of Monrovia, California, hauled it in. Let's take a look and see if he got a toe down. He did not.
Oh, did not.
Good call on the field.
Excellent call on the field. It's going to set up a field goal situation, but I like the idea of taking a shot right there by the Aggies.
And it's Dominic Eberle out of Nuremberg, Germany, 1 for 1 on the season. And this one coming from 40 yards right down the middle into the All-State good hands nets. Utah State holding Idaho State on 4th and inches and marching it down the field. A short field for the opening points of the game. A 3-0 lead for for Utah State.
Same thing. So far, things have kind of started the way we thought they would, Chris. I mean, for the Bengals, they really wanted to come out and try to hold on to the ball, drive it downfield. Nice stop by the Aggies on defense. But I feel like that was a huge win for the Bengals on defense by holding the Aggies to 3 points. What are your thoughts, Francisco?
Well, there's a pretty good vibe down here on the field, but now on the Idaho State side, we're going to get to see a team that has a really good vibe going around practice, usually, especially with 5 sets of siblings going on in the team. Especially the most notable of them are the Guller brothers, Tanner and his brother, the wide receiver, Mitch. I was speaking to Coach Fennesi about him, and he told me that Tanner is actually better when Mitch is on the field. And during practice, when Tanner's struggling a little bit, when he's not doing so well, they start teasing Mitch around and tell him to go talk to him so he can get his act together. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, you know, that's a really good point, Francisco. I mean, it's all about chemistry in football, especially if you're talking about a quarterback and his wide receiver. What better chemistry can you have than a bloodline? I mean, you're not going to get much better than that.
And Mitch Guller with quite the story, wearing number 2 for Idaho State. Should see him on this next possession. Mitch, a sophomore, but he is much older than his brother, who's a junior. Mitch, as we see the look at all the brothers, the Johnsons, the Reynolds, the Graves. Tell you, the Guller kid, I was stunned when I read this on the Idaho State website, that Mitch Guller was a first-round pick of the Philadelphia Phillies back in 2012 as a pitcher.
2012, yeah. He has played the last 5 years. And what's interesting about him being back is that the Phillies are actually paying for his scholarship. That was in his contract, that if he got released from the team, they would pay for his schooling. Here he is.
It's the first thing I thought when I saw that he had signed for about $1 million after that first-round draft pick right out of high school, how he would be able to play in the NCAA, play football. Well, that's how it works, and I'm glad it does. I'm glad the NCAA is allowing him to play some football, play with his brother, and play with Idaho State. That'll be another touchback. Same spot as it was to start off the football game, and Idaho State will try to do what they did on the opening drive, marching it down the field. Rob Fennesi, in his first season at Utah State as the head coach, though he was the wide receivers coach last year. It was a crazy offseason for Fennesi and his whole coaching staff. He at one point actually left and went to Northern Iowa to be the wide receivers coach.
Yeah, certainly his first year at Idaho State. I mean, he's done a terrific job of taking over the reins. He just got the job like 6 months ago in March when Kramer decided to retire. So he's having to pull things together on a short time period.
Picked up a win in his very first game, though he said that wasn't quite the barometer that he needs. That is a huge, huge hit, and we might have a targeting penalty here. Solely to Maivetta went high and tight on Tanner Guller.
Looked like he led with his head too, which is the biggest issue that they have with the targeting penalty. Is anytime a guy lunges with his head, and his head is the first thing to make contact, that is an immediate targeting penalty. And we'll see what the refs come back with. And it looked like Guller might also have been giving himself up with a slide.
There is no foul for targeting on the play. The defender hit the quarterback with the shoulder. Second down.
I'll tell you, Maivetta got lucky there because he did lunge and dive. But if it was just his shoulder that made contact, that's why it's a clean hit. So you got to be careful nowadays. We saw what happened last week with Jalen Davis being rejected.
This could be 6 for number 6. There was one guy to beat, trying to juke him, and got caught from behind. Hagen Graves on the crossing route, and nobody was home in the Utah State secondary.
And that's because of how fast Graves got down the field. I mean, what a nice job running that crossing route. Big pickup.
This team can throw it. Incomplete.
Let's take another look.
Intended for Dean Darius.
Hagen Graves here, number 6. I mean, no one within a few yards of that route. Nice job getting upfield, picking up some big yardage.
That was a 23-yard gain. After the incompletion, it's 2nd down and 10, and for the second time in as many drives, Idaho State is into Utah State territory. Flanagan again, the running back, right behind Guller. Another pass, another quick one out to the flat. That ball is caught. Minimal yardage on the play. Dallin Levitt wrapped him up.
Nate Page on that. He's their second tight end. They like to split him out a little bit, give him some space and some room to work in this empty offense.
There's Flanagan, didn't get anything. Looked a lot like the fourth down play from that very same area. Maybe 4-down territory again.
And I don't think that this would be a bad place for Finney to punt, because you can pin them down on the other side, live to fight another day, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do.
I disagree. I'd go for it. What do you think on Facebook? Send us your comments. I'm Idaho State. I'm nearly a 5-touchdown underdog.
It's so early.
Hey, I'm going for it, man. I know they missed it on 4th and inches the first time, but I'm not playing a field position battle right now. The punter is Sean Chaney. That one off the side of his foot. It's going to bounce inside the 20 and take a nice Idaho State roll to the 11-yard line as Zach Van Leeuwen let it bounce. And if you're having a hard time catching your breath, you're not alone. We are way high up.
Way up.
Oxygen, please, is the title card here. Utah State, the 6th highest elevation of any Division I football stadium, 4,710 feet. Francisco, you doing okay down there?
I'm here with Paige. She's actually sharing some of her knowledge about Utah State, the program. How do you think so far? This is a homecoming for the Aggies. What do you think so far of the environment, the mood around here?
Well, being especially over here by the students, it's been so exciting to see everybody come out. A lot of freshmen that are new to it, that maybe don't understand everything going on, but they understand the excitement of it. And that's the best part, I think. It's also fun to see that they're supporting their other Aggies. You know, there's some behind us, some of the Spirit Squad that are new, and then some in the herd that are new too. And it's just exciting to see new people. The seats are still getting filled, so it's exciting to be here.
It's something that's definitely going to be exciting. So follow our broadcast during halftime. They're going to have a tribute to some of former great Aggies. Some of them, like Chris Cooley, for example, who actually was the tight end who played for the Washington Redskins. We're going to be able to ask some questions throughout the broadcast.
And keep your comments coming on Facebook. We've been following them. We want to hear from you guys. We want this to be exciting for you and for us. So keep the comments coming.
Yeah, as I said before, if we get some creative, smart questions, we're going to be able to ask the coaches or players at halftime and after the game. Guys, back to you.
Appreciate it, Francisco. The other side of this thing, too, on Facebook is really, like, what should the teams do on offense or on defense? I mean, play analysts for a second. We're happy to engage in some conversation. But, Chris, I want to go back to the elevation issue. Having played a couple of years with the Denver Broncos, trust me, it is different. It is very much different. Your oxygen levels are really low. I mean, even on the way up here, up the stairs, I had a little bit of a problem. Maybe that's just because I'm old.
I thought that's because you're out of the league now, man.
been away for a while, yeah.
You're not going to training camps anymore. You're eating Bojangles before the game. Give right up the middle, and not much doing. Idaho State's going to try to keep them down here. Justin Hervey is the backup running back in this game, usually the third-string running back, but Justin Hervey's going to see a lot of action along with El Toro Allen, who's wearing number 22 tonight because of the injury to Tony Lindsay.
They're going to try to mix it up with these three backs, keep everyone fresh. But that's what happens sometimes when you lose your lead guy. You kind of got to go down that roster and have a couple of guys complement in order to make up for the difference.
2nd down and 9 as Myers looks to throws on the run. Not much, but it's something from Damian Hobbs, who was a former quarterback. Actually had 3 rushing touchdowns in a game against Wyoming last season, but they moved him to tight end. He's got a big body, 6'2", 245. I can see why.
Nice frame and nice hands there, too. Brings up a 3rd down and long, though, for the Aggies.
It's a big one for Idaho State. You can hold them here, get good field position again, and another chance for that offense that has done a pretty decent job of picking up first downs early on in this football game. Hervey is the running back. Screen pass. Is it going to be enough? Nice cut up the field. Jordan Nathan was able to find his way past the sticks for the first down. That's a guy just making people miss, knowing exactly where he needed to get to.
I mean, that's certainly just an individual effort here because he was not supposed to get this first down. You'll see Nathan catch it and get around and watch him plant that foot in the ground, get up the field. Nice job keeping the sticks moving for the true freshman.
Hervey is lit up Adkin Aguirre, the safety, was right there, had his first career interception last week and a career-high 8 tackles. He's raring and ready to go, the sophomore out of California.
Goodness, talk about a textbook tackle. He got low, hit the pads, and pulled. Nice job by the sophomore.
And now deep, Ronquavian Tarver makes the catch, 40-yard line into Idaho State territory. Brandon Monroe pushed him down. Biggest play of the game for Utah State.
Big time play from Tarver. Big catch. Brandon Monroe has got to turn his head and find the football. Watch him here. He does not find the football at all. Makes it an easy catch for Tarver on the sideline.
That was a pickup of 32. This is a pickup of about 16. Another first down. And Ronquavian Tarver has been magnificent early on in this football game. 3 catches for first downs.
He's starting to feel himself a little bit, Chris, and for good reason. He's got that big frame at 6'3". Keep giving him the football.
That's Allen. So now the third running back into the game for Utah State. They go a little bit deeper, and that is one of the things that we'll talk about in just a little bit. The difference between an FBS team like Utah State out of the Mountain West and an FCS team like Idaho State out of the Big Sky. Pickup of 4. With 6:08 to go in the opening stanza here at Utah State. It's a school night. It's a work night. Some fans arriving a little bit late. The student section has filled up nicely. Got to imagine that there might be some classes missed tomorrow for the first time this season. Again, right over the middle, and again, it's Jordan Nathan who's been active so far in this game. It's really been the Nathan and Tarver show for Utah State.
These kids supposed to be in school.
Their sports.
Are they supposed to be in school right now? Maybe they don't have any
Night
classes this late.
Come on, man. No night classes on game night.
Well, maybe they should be in the library reading some books or doing some work, man. Come on now.
Who is this Darius Walker fellow? Doesn't appreciate the students.
Boy. Gotta love it.
Second down from just inside the 10, and there's El Toro. Allen to the outside and finding the end zone for the touchdown, Aggies.
Big time cutback from El Toro Allen. Again, this guy's way down on the depth chart. So this is a big time play for him. Since Tony Lindsay is out, he's carrying the load, but Scarver, number 81, is the one who's going to make this key block right there on the outside. Walk-in touchdown for Allen. Nice sequence of play calling for the Aggies.
9-yard touchdown run. Dominic Eberle on to add the extra points. And it is 10-0 Utah State, despite Idaho State having some success on offense. Darius Walker, that is why I would have gone for it instead of punting that down.
Now you're going to play Monday morning quarterback.
Hey, I said it at the time, man.
That's fine. Yeah, it's easy to make that decision afterwards, but it certainly is a tough contest for Idaho State. You know, what's interesting about this, Chris, when you look at the FBS level versus the FCS level, the biggest difference is the depth. Your 2s and your 3s having the same caliber of talent. I tell you, when you're at the FBS level, the 2 or the 3 in this case, El Toro Allen for the Aggies is really, really good. But when you go down that line, if you're an FCS program, you just don't have as much talent around you. What are your thoughts on that, Francisco?
About the offensive line protecting the quarterback, the running back, and everybody for Utah State. This is a team that has shown some chemistry despite the fact that they have 5 first-time starters. They all made their debut at Utah State last week against Wisconsin. Some of them were not even playing that position before they actually got here to Logan. One of them, for example, Quinn Ficklin, the starting center that I was actually playing fullback every once in a while for Brigham Young University. His teammate Roman Andrews, who's starting left tackle, actually was part of that recruiting program to bring him over and to convince him to come here to Logan. I was reading some comments as well. We have Colin Taylor watching from Iwakuni, Japan, saying go Aggies. We have Mark Sulkey as well. We have Dan Wilson Hunt. We have Mose Tumama, we have Tanya Doracio, Jason Nyman, a lot of Aggie fans supporting. So don't forget, get creative with your comments, guys. Be smart. If you send us some really good questions for the coach and for the players, we'll be able to ask those at halftime and also after the game. We'll come back. We'll talk to Paige about the vibe, about the environment going to the stadium here in Utah State's homecoming. Guys, back to you.
They're striping the stadium tonight, white and navy. The official colors are navy, white, and pewter gray, but the stadium striping tonight is in white and navy. My favorite comment so far from Jeremy Spackman, who says, anybody else remember what happened the last time Utah State had a 10-0 lead?
Wow, a little foreshadow there. A little foreshadow there for sure.
And Idaho State's going to get an opportunity to bring this puppy out, and only to the 22-yard line from Michael Dean.
Now, with a 10, you're down 10 points right now if you're Idaho State. Chris, there's no reason to press. You don't need to start taking shots. You don't need to start going for the end zone right now. What they need to do is put together another methodical drive, try to drive it down the field, eat up some time off the clock. But then you look at 26 straight losses against FBS opponents and you say, all right, well, all nose are out, throw everything out the window. Let's just sling it down the field, see what happens.
The last time was right here at this stadium back in 2000. Geller to throw it, and that one is caught. Pickup of 5 yards on the play as Hagan Graves gets down and pulls it in for his 3rd reception of the game. Fans don't like that call. Thought it was incomplete, as did our statistician.
Yeah, he did. He waved it off right there.
And they might look at it.
Here we go. Let me take another look at this thing. Graves did try to get way down to pick this up, but the question is did the ball bounce off the ground? And he went down to get it and hit him in the chest on the bounce back up. Let's see what the refs say as they look at this. Let's see what angles we have here for you. We'll take another look.
And let us know on Facebook. I'm sure you'll easily be able to tell on Facebook. I'm sure no one will argue with one another or anything like that. That is not an angle where I would be able to overturn anything.
It really depends on what angles they have to see. Because that one from behind, just no way of telling whether that ball got in there or not.
Matt Wells having a talk with the head official here, Kevin Boitman, who's going to make this announcement.
Utah State is challenging the ruling in the field of a complete pass.
On a 6-yard pass in the first quarter. All right. Replay official is Bruce Bain. Bruce Bain sounds like somebody that's like some fake Batman or something. It's not Bruce Wayne, it's Bruce Bain.
I love it, man. I love it. But this is our first sort of pivotal moment in this game. We'll take another look at this. This is the best shot that we have, and the ref's in the way there. So no way for us to tell. So right now, if it were me and you, Chris, I think the only thing that we could say is that there's not indisputable evidence to overturn whatever the call was on the field.
Right. From the looks we've seen, the ruling on the field has to stand.
Be tough. It's just going to be tough. And those are the angles that we have to be able to see this. That's why the call on the field is so important. But what a job by Matt Wells here to challenge it. First down.
You like that?
First down play.
I don't know about that.
I mean, you can't give them anything is the way it works, Chris. You just don't give up anything.
I guess after giving up 59, man, you got to do something.
It all counts, right? Man. It all counts for sure. Would love to hear the comments on Facebook, though, whether you think that was a catch. Of course, tough to see from our vantage point, but maybe someone in the stadium had a better angle than we did.
Here's the call.
After further review, the ruling field stands. Utah State is charged with a timeout, and they are out of challenges for the rest of the game.
And that is why I don't challenge, because even if you win, it's 6 yards. So it stands. It's a pickup of 6 on first down. 2nd down and 4 for Idaho State. And a shout out to Chad Anderson, who's in class and watching the game.
Streaming this
Chad,
thing,
there you go. Get Facebook in the classroom. Learn all you need to know about football. It's football season, not school season. 2nd down and 4. And right up the middle, it's Flanagan who bounces it to the outside and squeaks his way through across the 35-yard line to the 37. Pickup of close to 10 yards, and they'll move the sticks again.
I got to tell you, Chris, like this is the makings of an incredible running back in Ty Flanagan. But if you're on Facebook, this is what it will look like for you. You can comment, like some stuff, debate some stuff as well. It's all there for you.
Flanagan again. Pushed back by Gage Ferguson. But not after a pickup of close to 5 yards again. He just kept those legs churning. 5'10", 190 out of Vegas.
That's a big block by the right guard, Skylar Phillips, number 71, to spring Flanagan to the second level. But, man, he is churning those feet. This is a really good back, Chris. Like what I see so far.
The way this Idaho State offense is playing, it's kind of surprising that they're down 10-0, and they've still got a goose egg. Dean is open, but it's picked off. Jalen Davis, the interception. Davis cut down by Hagan Graves, who made a nice open field tackle as Jalen Davis, who has started his 37th consecutive game and picked off this team 2 times as a freshman, comes up with this big pick after being ejected last week.
Yeah, we talked about what he means to this defense, and you can see why. Just the athletic ability and the ball skills to break on the football. I mean, he's going against Hagan Graves there, who's a good wide receiver. But Jalen Davis showed better ball skills on going to get the football. So a nice job by Davis, but he really is the heart and soul of that defense. They are excited to have him playing because they missed him in the second half last week.
Utah State again will start at the 20-yard line. The Aggies own 20, and that's Lawan Hunt. Pickup of 3 on first down as Joe Martin cut him down. Davis's 7th career interception, and that is a guy that might be the best player on this Utah State football team and a guy that's going to get a look in the National Football League.
He's a senior, too, so he's so much of a leader for them, not only on defense, but just as a team whole. When you talk about momentum and being able to get the guys revved up, he's an excellent player.
Ronquavian Tarver with his 5th reception already in this first quarter with 3:20 to play. Fake handoff, and that's the tight end, Dax Raymond, who missed the opener. His first action this season. Pickup of 10, might be another first down.
And this is what we really didn't see from the Aggies in the second half last week. Guys showing extra effort. Dax Raymond, he hadn't been in the game. He didn't play last week. They're excited to have him back. But look at him continuing to push those legs to get to the sticks. That's what the Aggies have to do, play in and play out.
Hunt stopped by Christian Holland. Close to another first down. And this is danger time now for Idaho State, the heavy underdog in this game.
And it's looking like right now they're starting to get a little bit worn down in this running game because the holes are starting to get just a little bit wider for the Aggies. And this is where the depth comes into play, Chris, that whole FCS conversation again. You don't see anybody running out on defense for the Bengals. These guys got to stay and play the whole game. They can't get much of a break because there's a big drop-off at the next level.
Great pass and nice adjustment from Jaron Colston Green. His first catch of the ball game inside the 15-yard line. And Utah State is setting up to score again.
I mean, that is a perfect pass, Chris. Perfect. Big-time play. Working against Brandon Monroe there. Monroe has got to get himself in better position, but you have to think that he's gassed right now. This entire defense for the Bengals is most likely gassed. You see guys with their hands on their hips and on their knees. They're getting pushed back right now.
Pickup of 34 yards. Utah State nearing 200 total yards of offense in this first quarter. And there's a reverse, a double reverse. Savon Scarver dancing. And that's an exciting pickup of 2. We do have a flag down. A late one.
See what the flag is. You see the trickery already coming out for the Aggies. It's one of those times where you go down that playbook and say, well, what's some stuff we'd like to see if it works or not? Let's try it here.
Number 25, offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
You get Gerald Bright there with the block in the back. But Mario Jenkins this time, number 47, had a chance to get him down. And this is what we talked about with Fennessy. When you have an opportunity to be able to get a guy down on defense for the Bengals, you have to be able to do it. You can't miss players in space like that. The Aggies are just too good.
And you saw the block in the back there on Rashid Williams wearing 85, who was shoved from behind by Gerald Bright. And that'll bring up first down and 20. Four wideouts again, 2 right, 2 left. And the lone running back is Lawan Hunt. Now Bright goes in motion, trips to the right. Snap to Myers, looking right, pumping, throwing over the middle, has Raymond again, and Raymond making a man miss, sprinting to the pylon. He is just short of the end zone. Marked down at the 1/2 yard line, Darius.
They are so excited to have him back. And watch Kent Myers here go through the progressions. He wanted to hit Lawan Hunt on the check down, but instead it wasn't available. Gets it to his tight end. Big pickup. But a nice stop up front here. Mario Jenkins lays the wood that time.
On Hunt. The best player on that defense for Idaho State as they try to put a stop to this Utah State rumbling offense. 210 total yards in this first quarter, now under a minute to go in the first. Hunt, the running back, on 2nd and goal from the 3. It's a lob to the corner, and it's caught. Ronquavian Tarver, touchdown Aggies.
This is just a tough position for the corner, Kobe Lowe there, number 15. He's at a height disadvantage, Chris. Tarver's 6'3", he's 6 foot. If you throw that football up, the taller guy's going to win the majority of the time. Nice job by Tarver getting those feet in, showed the nice body control. But another big series for the Aggies.
9 plays, 80 yards, 2nd touchdown of the opening quarter. And already Utah State is opening this thing up. Extra point is good. It is 17-0. 213 total yards to 84.
This is the first quarter
for Idaho State.
It's the first quarter. This is not halftime. This is just the first quarter. The Aggies putting up some big numbers. You know, when we spoke to Matt Wells, Chris, earlier this week, we talked about the Wisconsin game and what the feeling was like in the locker room. And he was very candid with us that it was obviously not a good performance, but he said the guys weren't down. Everyone still held their heads up high. They had their pride. They knew that that was not indicative of what type of team they are, that they can come out and perform. They're showing that short memory here today and that ability to be able to perform early in a game.
They had a 5-season bull streak snapped last season, a really disappointing 3-9 record, and you see the difference in turnover margin as the years have gone on in the Matt Wells era and the opponent's points. The best team was probably that 2013 team, even though they didn't win 10 games. Won 10 the second season, and then it's been downhill since then as Wells gets a shot here to right the ship. 2013 Mountain West Coach of the Year, replaced Gary Anderson, who went to Wisconsin and then left Wisconsin to go to Oregon State. Anderson was the one that really brought this program to prominence as it entered the Mountain West from the WAC a few years ago. 42 seconds to go in the first, and Dean is going to take a knee once more.
Now, the last time Idaho State got the football, I said you can't press. They're starting to feel a little press right now. I wouldn't say it's full court, but maybe it's half court. You know, and speaking of pressure, Tanner has just been under duress all day today. He's 5 of 9, only got 50 yards and 1 interception. But right now, he's going to have to air it out, so it's vital for this offensive line to be able to give him some time to find wide receivers down the field. I think if you're Matt Wells and the Aggies right now, Chris, you could start to dial up some pressure on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down.
Now, they want to do that. They want to be aggressive and blitz heavy for their co-defensive coordinators, Kendrick Shaver and Frank Miley. Dean in motion. Snap to Guller. Throws it to Flanagan out of the backfield. That was a late decision. Flanagan hangs on to it as Chase Christiansen brings him down with under 30 seconds to play in the first quarter.
You know, the problem right now for Idaho State, Chris, is that on these one-on-one matchups on the outside, when they go empty, guys aren't really getting open right now, so there's nowhere for Tanner to go with the football, which is why he's having to pull it down, run it, or look for his check down in Flanagan.
2nd down and 7. Guller has time and has his man. That's a 1st down, and that's a little bit more from Nate Page up to the 41-yard line as the first quarter clock expires. Idaho State didn't score. They did get into Utah State territory 2 different times, and they're knocking on the door again. They just haven't been able to do anything with it once they get it across midfield. That's the end of the first, but there is no commercial for us. We just send it down to the field in Francisco X Rivera.
Thanks, guys, and let's continue talking Jalen Davis. What a key play to bring back the energy at the stadium here for the Aggies. And actually, Jalen Davis is a fierce competitor. For example, Robert Castañeda was sending us a message here on Facebook saying that if Jalen Davis hadn't been ejected, they would have actually beaten Wisconsin. I don't know if they would have gone that far, but still, he's a key component, fierce competitor, and he told us that he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He wants Mountain West Conference recognition this season, so he's definitely looking that we will. Another key player in that last offensive series was Dax Raymond. People are asking about him.
Yeah, Dax is one of ours that's also playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's been out the last 2 seasons due to different injuries, and he's really happy to be back. I had the chance to chat with his girlfriend in the stands a little bit earlier. She's in the middle of making a sign welcoming him back, and it's nice to see him back. Of course, he's doing a really great job, like you said, and it's nice that we have so many players with so much to play for.
Guys, there's a lot to play for still here at the end of the first quarter. I have a lot of messages here on Facebook. This is great. So far, my favorite, John Ansbro, saying, watching USU from Evansville, Indiana, class of 1980. That's the old school fans. And we also have Chad Anderson saying, I'm in class, and I'm still not missing the game. Weren't you supposed to be in class today?
I did skip a little bit of it, but my teacher was okay with it. I loved the one from Joe Cook as well in Kansas City saying that he was in class pretending to pay attention but actually watching the game. I think this game, though, is one that's worth skipping a little bit of class for because this is a good game that we've got out here tonight. And I think the fans are starting to realize that, you know, here in Logan, it's more of a social event for a lot of the community members. So you'll notice that there's still seats that are being filled and things like that, and that'll continue throughout the rest of the game because that's what it's like up here in Logan. You know, everybody comes out for these games. Everybody's an Aggie.
I love that description, social event. And then I'd want to know, for those of you who are students or student athletes here at USU, tell us if your teachers are cool about letting you skip class. Guys, back to you.
Well, you're asking them to call themselves out.
Seriously.
We love it,
man.
right?
What are we doing here? What are we promoting here? What is happening?
You can't schedule a class on Thursday night of the home opener, though, right? I mean, even if you do have a class that's supposed to be right now, you got to say, guys, I understand.
All right. Well, I think we have a good idea what kind of student Chris was back in the day.
Or hey, Darius, just go to class and we'll have a Facebook watch party there. Oh, big hit.
Big time hit
Flanagan
indeed.
got smoked. I just saw Mitch Trubisky. How in the world is he not the starter for the Chicago Bears? Come on. That's picked. Tucker Louis McGee off the deflection, picks it for Idaho State, and now they've got the best field position of the game, knocking on the door of the red zone. Here we go.
Heads up play right there by McGee to be able to catch this football. It's just going to be a nice tip here. He tips it up, can't catch it, can't control it.
Yeah, Braylon Roberts
he's able there to pick it up. Nice
could not
job.
bring that in. The pass was a little bit behind him.
Yeah.
Kent Myers, probably his first wayward pass of the game. He's been nearly perfect. 12 for 13, 164 yards and a touchdown before that interception. And now it's 1st and 10 for Idaho State. Remember, they trailed 6-0 until late in the first half of their opener. Guller to throw. And that's Dean, the little guy. He can scoot. 5'6", 155, Darius. What'd you go when you were at Notre Dame?
Are you trying to say I was that small?
I'm just
Is
asking,
that like, why did you compare that to?
I
just wonder why that came up in your mind. Wow. Jeez Louise, man. I was 5'10", 200 pounds.
So we're putting it into perspective. You're way bigger than Michael Dean.
Oh.
Guller to throw. And that's caught. Hagen Graves again inside the 10. 1st and goal, Idaho State.
You know, when you look at the game last week when the Aggies went against Wisconsin, what was the play that really was the difference? Last week it was the ejection from Jalen Davis. Today, could this be something that sparks opportunities for the Bengals to be able to put points on the board and still a little bit of momentum because of the interception?
Flanagan, nothing doing up the middle. Chase Christiansen leading a pack of Aggies in navy blue, riding him back.
Christiansen has been terrific today, along with all that front four. I mean, Wildman, Anderson, Schuster, all these guys have performed really well on the interior of this defensive line for the Aggies. I think if Flanagan's going to have any success in the running game, he's going to have to get to the edge of one side or the other.
Golden opportunity here for Coach Rob Fennessy and Idaho State. Down 17-0. Guller to throw. Has his man. Tanner Connor inside the 5. It'll be third down again for Idaho State. Haven't had much success, any success on third down so far in this game. 0 for 3.
I tell you, the instincts of Jalen Davis is just tremendous. That time he got off his man to make the play on Connor. In space, he's a really terrific football player.
Again, Flanagan, the lone setback. Guller, as always, working out of the shotgun with 3 receivers to his right. He's going left, lofts it up. That ball is incomplete, but a penalty marker is thrown. They're going to get Cameron Haney for pass interference, and it will be first and goal for Idaho State following the interception.
We're seeing 2 mistakes right now for the Aggies after the pick, and now a pass interference from Cameron Haney.
Number 6, defense. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Chris, it's so important to get your head around as a DB, especially in tight spaces like that in the end zone. You got to turn your head and find the football. Haney did not do it that time. That's an easy call for the ref.
First and goal from the 2. Flanagan up the middle, and that's a touchdown. Idaho State capitalizing off the miscue, turning an interception into 6. And maybe we'll have a ball game tonight in Logan, Utah.
Well, the way you get back into games, Chris, is by scoring points off of turnovers. Nice job by Flanagan getting the football in the end zone. But you talk about turning points in football games. Playing Monday morning quarterback, when you look the week pass at the end of this thing, you say, all right, well, what was the play that was the turning point? That interception certainly looks like it has brought some life to the Bengals.
Parker Johnson on to attempt the extra point. Bad snap, and he just has to fall on it. The long snapper, Andrew Burtonshaw, wasn't able to connect with Robert K. Winsland, the holder, but it's still 6 for Idaho State. They made the 90-minute trek down earlier in the day. Coach Rob Fennessy and company, 1-0 in his first season as head coach at Idaho State. And speaking of Idaho State, got a picture for you here, you Facebook viewers, of an old Idaho State Bengal.
Jerry curl and everything. I love it.
And I'm going to put the emphasis on Bengal, and we're going to see,
see
if
where
anybody
that goes.
knows.
See where that goes.
Let's just see. Who do you think that is? I mean, this is what year was this? Late 70s? We're not going to tell you who that is as of yet. We want you on Facebook to discuss.
Yeah, give us some guesses.
Who is that fella?
With the high socks, too. I mean, it certainly looks good. Let's go down to Francisco, see what we have rolling in the social.
All right, guys, this is what I'm doing. I did this at San Diego State last week. Thanks to our guys for Sports on Facebook for sharing this. We're doing a Facebook Live within a Facebook Live from my page, Francisco X Rivera. So if you want to go ahead and comment as well, please feel free to do so. We want to get your feedback. We want to, I was actually talking to my phone. Now I'm talking to you, Marcel. So anyway, guys, this is fun so far. Don't forget to be creative. Be creative with your questions. If I see someone asking a really good question, I'm going to go ahead and share with Coach Wells at halftime. And then again, for those of you who are skipping class, shame on you. But then again, as someone said before, you can't schedule class on Thursday night. It's Logan, it's Utah State, it's fun. And as Paige mentioned before, more people are coming to this social event here in Logan. We have this campaign here, Stripe the Stadium. Obviously, we have the blue, we have the white. It's really fun so far. And for those of you, we want to hear your comments. We have alumni from 1980. That comment that I got last time, we got alumni actually, or alums actually watching the game right now. So we have people from all trades watching from Japan. This is fun, guys. This is a lot of fun so far. Guys, back to you.
We're seeing all types of comments on Facebook about this photo. People are guessing Warren Moon. I've seen Marvin Lewis. I mean, it is just all over the place right now with the guests on the photo. So keep the comments coming. We will tell you here shortly
we'll
who that is.
Yes, we will. That's Scarver on the return, the speedster, fastest man on the team for Utah State. We'll see how Kent Myers responds after that pass that went awry and was intercepted, leading to the first points of the game for Idaho State.
Really got to be able to bounce back and have a short memory in this game, Chris, I tell you, sometimes interceptions happen, fumbles happen. No matter what it is, you got to have a short memory, be able to put that in the past and look forward. So we'll have to check the senior, Kent Myers, if he can get back on track on offense.
Things went south in a hurry against Wisconsin when something went wrong. I know Idaho State's not Wisconsin, but this is a moment that Matt Wells has been waiting to see. How does his team respond? He said they were fantastic in practice this week, a short week of practice.
Which is
6
really,
days ago, they
which is
played
really
the
commendable too, depending with what happened in that Wisconsin game. It is certainly nice to hear that they had a good week of practice and were able to put forth effort. As Tarver that time catches the pass and is unable to get the first down.
Mario Jenkins on the stop, 3rd down and short. Under 11 minutes to play in the first half. Thanks for joining us here on Facebook Live. Got several more games, a dozen more to bring you throughout the season. That's a first down. Just barreling right up the middle was Lawan Hunt.
I mean, Hunt just put his head down and would not be denied that time. Completely ran over Joe Martin, the linebacker. I tell you, Hunt's listed at 5'8", 195, but he plays with his big boy pants sometimes.
And if you missed any of the action so far, the touchdowns, we'll be posting them on the Stadium Facebook page as well. Check on back. We know you're all on Facebook anyway, so you might as well watch college football when you're on. Myers stepping up, taken down from behind after he picks up 4, maybe 5 yards. Joe Martin was able to bring him down. And speaking of Facebook, continue to keep those comments coming. We are live right now. Stadium's Facebook exclusive coverage all season long during college football season. We'll also have about 40 college basketball games for you as well. You know, the Utah State fans love their basketball in the Mountain West Conference.
I love Aggie hoops for sure.
2nd and 5. Crowd's quiet right now after taking a 17-0 lead. An interception turns into a touchdown for Idaho State. Myers to throw. Wide open man over the middle. Braylon Roberts. Get the ref out of the way and get that first down.
Big play by Roberts here. He's working on number 12, Agnew. Agnew's not even in the picture. Good route up the top. Wade broke that off and stuck that foot in the ground to create the separation. Good first down. And this is not what you want to see if you're the Bengals. Momentum being stolen again by the Aggies. I tell you, it feels like right now, Chris, that the Bengals need another turnover.
Instead, it's a pickup of 4 or 5 yards again on first down. What does that do for an offense when you can pick up 4 or 5 yards on first?
It just makes it opens the playbook up. You can take a shot on 2nd down. You can run a screen on 2nd down. The options are just endless when you're on track with a big first down pickup.
Well, there's the option. Let's go to the outside. And it's Braylon Roberts again. Had just 2 catches against Wisconsin. So 2 catches on this drive. And Utah State's got it moving again. 28-yard line. 1st and 10. But we do have an injured player.
Window down here. We'll have to see if we can't see who that is.
That's big old 96, Trevin Aloy.
That's Aloy.
Murray, Utah.
Was grabbing at that knee. He's a big man at 6'1", 330 pounds. Hopefully he's okay. But right now, I think this a blessing in disguise right now for the Bengals because they are tired on defense. They need a break. And Fennessy's going to have to get together with his staff and figure out how to stop the bleeding here. Because right now, the Aggies can do anything they want. They're running really well with Hunt. They're throwing to Tarver. They're throwing to Nathan. I mean, the options are endless right now for Kent Myers and company.
And that's a starter that's limping on off. Starting defensive tackle, Aloy. Big-time weightlifter in high school. Set a bunch of school weightlifting records. Trying to move that pile. Now we'll just try to get back in the football game. So it's 3rd down and maybe a half yard for Kent Myers and company. Running back is Hunt. Myers will throw it. Myers looking to the end zone. That is almost intercepted. Penalty marker was thrown near side of the field at the line of scrimmage. And I believe it's going to be Idaho State lining up offside.
Yeah, it looked like they Got a little jump on the edge, so a free play
Offside.
for Kent Myers.
Number 52, defense. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
They got Micah Braylon there. A little antsy on third down and short. He's on the left side here. You'll see him, number 52. You got to be able to hold your water. Coach call hold your water on third down and short, fourth and short. You get a little antsy sometimes to trying to break off the ball.
And a very costly penalty, too.
Yeah.
Would have been fourth down. And instead, it's first down. And it's a keeper. Myers, nobody home. Going back door. He's home. Touchdown. 24 yards for the senior Kent Myers.
Chris, he made that look so easy. Unbelievable play fake there to Lawan Hunt. And Kent Myers has shown you why he's been the mainstay at quarterback for this Aggie team for the last 3 years. Started as a true freshman about 5 games and just has continued to improve throughout his career. Won it with his legs that time. That's a big-time play. Nice series there and drive for the Aggies. Really trying to make sure the Bengals have no life here. No life.
A big-time response after Idaho State scored. They might be looking at this. Indeed, they are.
Take another look at this. Check out Mario Jenkins here to the right of your screen. 47. He just barrels down, and there is no one outside of him. Looked like he may have stepped out of bounds there too, Chris, after looking at that. But watch this play fake here that just has Jenkins go all the way down. He does not have a chance to keep containment. But does Myers step out of bounds there? It's looking like it. It's pretty close. But I would not be surprised if that comes back with the ball on the 2-yard line. But, man, just no one on the outside for containment for the Bengals on defense.
So if this does come back, it'll come back to the 2-yard line. And it would be first and goal for Utah State. Might be delaying the inevitable. As the replay official once again looks it over. Bruce Bain.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Kevin Boitman makes the announcement. It stands. Nothing to overturn. So Kent Myers does indeed have the 24-yard touchdown run.
That's a big-time play right there. And what a drive for the Aggies.
Extra point coming from Dominic Eberle. And he boots it right on through. 3 for 3 PAT and a field goal so far in the first quarter and a half of this football game. 24-6 Utah State over Idaho State as we send it down the field. Francisco in a very special place.
Definitely. I haven't drummed in a long time, but I was getting ready to do so. I'm just going to let the pros do it for a while. And once again, encourage you guys to send your questions in. We're just close to halftime, so we're going to be able to answer some questions as well. Paige, you don't mind taking the baton for me? I'm going to play.
I think security is on its way to escort Francisco out of the building. They love it down there. Way to go, Francisco. I can't tell.
He hasn't lost it, man. He hasn't lost a step.
I can't tell if he's an actual drummer or not.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Does he know if
Honestly,
he's an actual drummer?
I can't.
What is an actual drummer? So if I went down there and hit the baton some, I would not be an actual drummer. I mean, let's go back down to Francisco. I wonder what the experience was like. Francisco, you haven't done it in a while. You look like a pro, although you're out of breath. Maybe it was the elevation, but like, what was it like for you down there to get back on the drums?
It was actually great. I'm more of a guitar guy. If you bring a guitar sometime, we'll get to show you some licks. But at the time, it's about the altitude. And it's funny because I'm originally from Mexico City, but living by the beach, living in Los Angeles, I get spoiled. Paige, what do you think about the vibe so far here?
I think it's wonderful. I especially like it here next to our most passionate fans here in the band. Some of them are totally veterans. They've been here for longer than I've been here. They know more about the stadium than anyone
to you. Back to you.
All right, Francisco. See, he wants the guitar.
Yeah, so he's
where
not
his
an
strength
actual
is.
drummer, is what you're saying. You were right, Chris. He's not an actual drummer.
I told you.
What does that mean?
It's another touchback. And let's go back to the picture that we showed you a little while ago. Wanted to get your take on who this is. Who is this former Idaho State? That's Marvin Lewis.
Marvin, good old Marvin.
He looks like he's 40.
No, he looks like a character out of the Shaft movies. That's what he looks like. Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh my gosh. That looks nothing like him.
No, but he looks tough there too. I will give him that. I mean, the high socks are still in fashion, so it's still fashionable. Guys still wearing that. It's the Jerry curl, however, that is gone, but could possibly make a resurgence. Really? Could be. I mean, I don't have
We're
any
still
hair,
waiting
so it's
for
not
it,
happening
right?
here.
Coming to America. It was a long time. Oh, that's picked off, and that'll be a pick six. Jalen Davis all the way, baby. And what a response after being ejected at Wisconsin last week. 2 interceptions and 1 for 6.
I'd say he's certainly making a case for Mountain West honors here today. He's got the chip on his shoulder because he wants the recognition, and you can see it. I mean, this was so easy for Jalen Davis. You're talking about a guy who started as a freshman when he got here. He's experienced. He's seen it all. He was not fooled at all with this route from Michael Dean.
Idaho State is sick and tired of seeing Jalen Davis. In a game and a half against Idaho State in his career, he has 4 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. 31-6 Utah State, and we are going to take every look at this. And there is an LA Rams scout here to watch Jalen Davis. He's putting on a show.
I mean, but watch the break on the ball there. That's the difference between corners that see things and guys who actually have the ability to be able to get there. He's going to plant his foot in the ground. And look how fast he makes up ground. When the ball was first thrown, he was about 5 or 6 yards from the receiver. And while the ball was in the air, he was able to make up that ground, catch it with his hands, and just walk into the end zone. I mean, add insult to injury, he didn't even want to tuck the football. And that's just what kind of guy he is. Jeez, Louise. Big-time player, though. But I tell you, man, I am excited for him. He was ejected last week, which was a big difference in that game. But it just goes to show you what he means to this defense. And he's one of the best corners. I'll say it here now. I know we're watching him, and this is current. But he's definitely one of the best corners in the Mountain West Conference.
Well, he was only second team preseason Mountain West. There better be a lot of good ones if he's a second teamer and not a first teamer by the end of this season. In a game and a half, we've seen his importance. Kick a little bit shy of the end zone and a chance to return this puppy. 22-23 yard line is where Idaho State will set up once more with a big hole to dig out of. And it was Marvin Lewis, inducted into that Idaho State Sports Hall of Fame back in 2001. He was a 3-time All-Big Sky linebacker there. And then he got his coaching career going in the early 80s at Idaho State as a linebackers coach.
He's had a terrific career as a coach. Was a good player back in the late 70s, early 80s. So it's always exciting to see what guys do after they had an impact at their school as a player and starting his coaching career here.
Flanagan able to get the corner and pick up a first down on the first play of the drive. 8 minutes to go in the first half. Slow-moving football game to this point. Or maybe that's just we don't have commercials. Seems that way.
Seems like it's taken a while, but Flanagan finally able to get the edge. That's something we hadn't seen since early in the first quarter. Flanagan being able to get around the outside, so that's certainly encouraging for the Bengals on offense.
Flanagan again off the right side of the line, rumbling his way for 6, maybe 7 yards.
I always love seeing the big guys up front block and move. Dallin Collins, the center that time, number 58, made a terrific block. Allowed Flanagan to pick up the successful yardage. You see him right there, 58. He's the center snapping the football. He's a good player.
First down yardage for Flanagan once more as they've gone to the ground on this drive and having the most success of the ball game to this point. Right behind big boy Dallin Collins.
He is a terrific player. Redshirted last year because of injury. He played a lot, though, before that in 2013, 2014, and 2015. So they're certainly excited to have their redshirt senior back. He's paying dividends with his performance.
They actually marked that short of the stick, so it's 3rd down and maybe a half-yard for Idaho State. Kieran Yancey is in the backfield. Guller to throw, looking for Dean, a little bit too much on that one. And it'll be 4th and short once again at the 44-yard line. Dallin Levitt on the coverage.
Now, I scratched my head a little bit with that call, Chris, because on 3rd down and short, you just want to try to get the 1st down. Give yourself a whole new set of downs instead of taking a shot there. Now you're forced to put yourself in a situation where you got to decide whether you want to go for it on 4th down or, like they're having to do now, punt. I think it was just a bad call.
I'm okay with the call if they would have decided they were going to go for it. Get two cracks
Get 2 shots at the apple, yeah.
But if you're going to punt it, I'm with you, buddy boy. Punt coming from Sean Chaney, and that's a pretty good one. Inside the 20. Van Leeuwen not able to make it to the 20-yard line, but Utah State will once more have a chance to put some more distance between themselves and Idaho State. Coming up at halftime, we have a special ceremony on the field that we'll bring you. Again, no commercials. We're going to keep it here the whole way. This is what we do on Facebook. Several inductees into the Utah State Hall of Fame, including Chris Cooley, former Pro Bowl tight end for the Washington Redskins.
Certainly a big name around multiple different circles. I mean, he was a terrific football player in college and maybe even better pro. Lasted 11 years in the league before hanging it up. I mean, he does radio work now for the Redskins radio. He's an analyst.
But he's never done a game on Facebook.
No. He can't add that to his Wikipedia. He cannot know. But to see the Utah State Hall of Fame here, Kent Baer. I was actually with Kent Baer at Notre Dame. He was the defensive coordinator my freshman year at Notre Dame. So know him, have a relationship with him very well. But a lot of great inductees for sure. But another inductee who's really trying to put on a performance right now, Scarver running wide open down the field. Looked like a busted coverage there. Magoo. Not sure what happened there, but he's completely out of position. You'll see to the left of your screen here, he showed up late to the party. Big time, big route. Right now, we got hurry up offense for the Aggies.
Zach Van Leeuwen has another 1st down for Utah State. This is going exactly the way the Aggies wanted it to, other than one slip up, an interception that led to an Idaho State score, the only score of the game. Another quick pass. That's Van Leeuwen again down the sideline. Penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage far side.
And it looks like they're going to get Gerald Bright here with a holding penalty. And he did a nice job of blocking the defender all the way out of bounds, but he might have grabbed cloth there. We'll see what the refs have to say.
10-yard penalty. Replay 1st down.
We'll take a look at this. Look at the top of the screen. 87.
It's Dax Raymond, the tight end.
See Raymond, the tight end. He's the one who they call the hold on. But I tell you, I was impressed with Bright's blocking him. Watch him behind the play, just driving this guy out of bounds. Sometimes it gets to the point to where you're just being disrespectful, Chris.
Man, can't be doing disrespectful stuff on Facebook.
And you got to stay in class, too.
As long as you got the app up, you're just fine. Myers on 1st and 20. Used that pump fake to create some space and got some yardage back after the penalty.
This Aggies offense has really just been able to do any and everything. Hunt has looked terrific. Toro Allen has a touchdown as a running back as well. Kent Myers has the rushing touchdown. He's thrown for a couple. So right now this playbook is open, and you really have to start thinking, Chris, you know, if they're able to get points on the board in the second half, does Kent Myers even come out and play? Is his day done along with some of the other starters?
Now, he wouldn't let that play be done That's a first down, but a flag is thrown in the secondary. Dax Raymond was able to leak out and find an open spot, but this one might be coming back. Once again, a Mountain West officiating crew.
Ineligible player downfield. Number 70, offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
All right, Darius, I know somebody's going to ask it on Facebook. Why aren't certain players allowed to just go wherever the heck they want during the play? Why do you penalize somebody for being too far down the field?
You can't get down the field, man, especially on the offensive line. When they set up that line and they have the number of guys who are on the line, there's a certain amount of time that they have to wait before they get down the field. But sometimes when plays break down and you have a quarterback like Kent Myers who can extend the play, that means more time than usual. The line has to stay in their spots and can't go downfield. So that was the issue there.
Second penalty in this set of downs here.
But yeah, it would be nice if we could just kind of go wherever you wanted at any time.
Be a different ball game. 4:51 to play in the first half. Just trying to confirm where it's at. That's what the stoppage in play was for. Second down and long. About 18 yards for Kent Myers and company. And you're right, Darius, I'm not sure that I want to risk him being out there too long.
You have to start to consider that. Absolutely. It's a long season. It's just week 2.
You got a big game coming up next Saturday at Wake Forest. Now you'll have a long week since this is a Thursday game. But that's a big one on the road, and we've got a big run from Myers. Gets a block, gets the corner, and gets the touchdown. Kent Myers, 36 yards.
I mean, just making it look so easy, Chris. When he pulls down and runs, his instincts and his vision is really just unmatched. He's really a running back with the ball in his hand. And he decides to tuck and run in the speed. You can't coach that, Chris. Can't coach it at all. Another big-time play from the senior quarterback. And I mean, I really would not be surprised if, when they come back out from halftime, if his day is done. You have to take care of your players, and if you feel like you got the game shored up, give him a break.
I think he's done enough in one game. Yeah. 83 yards on the ground with 2 rushing touchdowns on 5 carries. And through the air, 19 for 21 for 255. A touchdown and that 1 interception, but he has had 2 long touchdown runs in this first half.
Quinn Ficklin, number 51, the center. He's the one who gets the first big block. And then Myers is able to just get up the field and get around to the outside. Another big block from Braylon Roberts there, number 88, his wide receiver. But you see Myers showing you the wheels and the skills. And then when it was all said and done, man,
what was that dance?
He's just dancing, yeah, what just dancing at the end.
Was that
maybe it was a 2-step a little bit. Let's see if we can't take another look at it. Take another look at this play. I mean, just getting upfield. Nice block by Ficklin. And then you see Roberts on the outside. He's the one who hooks Kobe low. And Myers is all the way in the end zone. And then he hears the music. I just envision that's what it is. Sorry.
So that wasn't the whip or the man.
Oh.
38-6. Utah State in control, sending it down once again to Francisco on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. We're sending a shout-out all the way to Sao Paulo, Brazil. Obrigado. Thank you very much, David Salisbury. Also, I have some comments here from Freeman Durden and also Glenn Swan, loving the format with no commercials. And people here are loving the vibe. They're loving the fact that Utah State has been able to get the win so far.
Yeah, I've noticed that there's some alumni along the sidelines as well. And there's just so much tradition tonight here at Utah State. There's some students that waited from 11 o'clock this morning to get their front row seats. And that's, one of the things you can expect when you come to Utah State, when you come to Logan. There's always tradition, and you also heard the Scotsman, right? It's not quite our fight song, but it's our kind of pipe song here at Utah State. It was written in 1918 by a student, and it's just one of the songs we use to hype ourselves up, and maybe I'll teach you the moves to it later.
It'll be nice. I can play, I cannot dance, so let me give that to you. Anyway, guys, back to you.
Francisco, man, if you're going to drum, you can dance
too. That's what I'm saying, man. He's a musician. Got some skills there, man. Let's see if we can't take a look at Francisco dance.
All right,
I want to see him dance. I want to see it.
All right. All right. Okay.
And right when it hits that part, you start going like this. And it's
All right. Is that easy?
you look great. Yeah.
Give me a beat. Give me a beat. Give me a.
It's got me who doesn't love it. This will show me an Englishman. And so on. But at the very end, you have to make sure that you get your number one up in the air so everybody knows what Utah State is.
Next stop are Chris and Darius. We're gonna teach them some dance moves. So guys, we're waiting for you after the game.
Well, I would love to see Chris Boogie. I mean, since he was not in class at all, since he's told us about skipping class for sporting events,
Hey, man,
maybe he was working on his dancing moves.
Sure, so I skipped out on the ACTs to watch Iowa versus Michigan back in 2002.
Oh, man, just can't condone this behavior.
We do have an injured Utah State Aggie. That's Aaron Wade out of Florida. And Wade is holding on to that right knee.
That is
Also
not
having
good.
to squeeze the hand of the trainer there. And he's going to be helped off the field.
Yeah, that is not good at all. Wade's their starting safety. He's been a special teams guy the majority of his career, but this year he was able to get the starting nod and has been playing considerable minutes since last week. But he's just a junior. Got another year. We'll have to check to see what his health is like. Hopefully, I guess he won't need to go back in this game per se, but hopefully he's all right because they have a big test next week with Wake Forest. So
He's the one who made that good tackle on the return. Coming up on 4 minutes to play in the first half. It's been all Utah State from the get-go. Flanagan once more pushed back. Now breaks to the outside. Sheds a man. And picks up the first down.
I mean, I tell you, this kid Flanagan is a load to bring down. I mean, listed at 5'10", 190. He plays like a back that's like 210, 215, showing you that strength, getting around the outside and keeping the legs moving.
I love those shoulder passes.
He's a big-time back. I like him.
Out.
It's just a grown man move, man. Grown man move. Love it. But the numbers today, you see the total yardage here. Utah State has just truly dominated this game from jump.
And one of the very few breaks that Ty Flanagan has gotten so far in this game is Kieran Yancey comes in to spell him. And away goes Aaron Wade to the locker room. Right past Francisco and Page. Hope for the best. At least he's putting some pressure on the knee, but not in any shape to return to this football game at this moment. Yancey spins out of a tackle. The Olay as Cameron Haney just went flying by.
Yeah, this is a nice job by Yancey here. This is one of those plays, you know, you see it in like Madden football or somewhere. You hit the circle button and the guy does the spin move. Nice job by Yancey. Picking up some big yardage. Brings up a third and short. They're going to give it to him again, but he is not going to be able to get there. Big time stop up front by the Aggies.
That was too much east and west running there.
Brings up another fourth down where it looks like the Bengals are going to have to punt here. I mean, offensively, you know, outside of the turnover and being in good position, they've gotten in the red zone a few times, but they just have yet to be able to sustain drives or get some momentum on.
Thank you very much, guys. We're going to see Hall of Fame ceremony from Utah State. Some former greats, not only football, but other sports as well. Chris Cooley, tight end, formerly with the Washington Redskins, is going to be here as well. We'll be talking to him in a moment. So let's see what's happening right now.
He was tapped the Big West Student of the Year as a junior in 1999, again in 2000. Ladies and gentlemen, Christy Jensen Petit. This inductee competed in football from 2000 to 2003. He's the best tight end in Utah State football history. He earned honorable mention All-American in 2003 and led all tight ends in the nation with 62 receptions. In 2004, he was drafted by the Washington Redskins. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Cooley. This next inductee spent 11 years associated with Utah State men's basketball. During his 6 years as head coach, he compiled a then school record 64.6 winning percentage, a mark that still ranks third in school history. He led the Aggies to 3 postseason NCAA appearances and 1 NIT appearances. Ladies and gentlemen, Gordon Dutch Belknap. This next inductee competed in track and field in 1993 and from 1996 to 98. He is one of the most decorated track athletes in Utah State history. He is one of just 17 track and field athletes in school history to earn multiple All-American honors. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Bingham. This inductee competed in basketball at Utah State from 2003 to 2006. He is the only men's basketball player in school history to earn 3 first-team all-conference citations. He is also the first player in school history to play in 3 NCAA tournaments. Ladies and gentlemen, Nate Harris. This inductee competed in soccer from 1997 to 2000. She was the first soccer player in school history to earn all-conference accolades when she was named honorable mention All-Big West. Gordy Miller held the school record in career goals and points, which now ranks second and third respectively. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Gordy Miller. This inductee's name is synonymous with success in Utah State men's basketball. He was the head basketball coach from 1999 to 2015 and got the Aggies to 14 straight seasons with at least 21 wins. He is the all-time winningest coach as well as the school record holder in career game coach. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Stu Morrill. Congratulations to the USU Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2017.
All right, so former USU greats are walking off the field. We're going to try to get Chris Cooley right now. So we're getting camera to follow. The band is playing right now. This should be fun as well.
Tonight's Throwback Thursday show begins with an iconic hit from Taylor Swift. Let's kick off another great season with...
And Chris Cooley is underway. We have tracked him already. Let's enjoy the band while we wait. Though it might not be long, Chris is actually coming our way now. Former USU great. Chris, what does it feel for you to actually be here in front of the fans in their home opener for the 2017 season?
This is incredible. I grew up watching games in this stadium. I mean, went to Logan High School. I remember so many games and so many of the players as a kid that it's unbelievable that this is here, that I'm here, that this is happening like this today. And I'm really, it's a huge honor. I'm really proud.
You accomplished a lot of things in your career, came here. You had a great college career, had 2 Pro Bowls in your resume as well. But when do you visualize that you're going to be a professional player?
Well, as a little kid, right? Every little kid thinks they're going to play in the NFL. And as I got a little bit older, I was really fortunate to come here. Utah State was my only Division I football offer, and it wasn't until I was a senior. I didn't play a whole lot my first couple of years here, and I loved it. I was happy to be playing, happy to be going to school. You know, the education part of it was huge to me. I know it isn't to every college athlete. But it happened like a whirlwind. I had a good couple of games as a junior to finish that season, and it just took over.
We're actually making history here with Facebook and Stadium. We're going live around the world. First time, actually, college football games are on Facebook. This is our third one, actually. We're still making history throughout 2017. So what I mean to say, a lot of people are watching around the world. To all those student athletes that eventually want to play sports and go professional, what will be your best advice?
Enjoy what you do. I think that's my best advice. It's an amazing experience. It's incredible. The education part of it is why you're going to school. And, you know, sometimes it works out. But when you really enjoy it and love what you do, I think you end up being happy.
All right, Chris, last question. What's your favorite part of being here at Utah State?
Seeing my friends, seeing the coaches, seeing the people that I played with. I mean, Stu Morrill gets introduced here tonight. I can't tell you how many games I watch, how many basketball games in the spectrum that I watch. So just being here, seeing everyone.
Chris Kula, former Washington Redskins, two-time Pro Bowler, Utah State. Great. Thank you very much, Chris. Have a great time. Keep on enjoying yourself.
Yeah, have fun with Facebook Live.
This is fun so far.
All right.
All right, guys, we're going to go to the studio with an update.
Laura Britt here in the Stadium Studios alongside two-time.
His hands. This could be a good football team when everything's clicking well for him.
Well, not far removed from 5 consecutive bowl games and a double-digit win season. Utah State looking like it's going to get to 1-1 with a 38-6 lead here at halftime against Idaho State. They got a bit of a gauge at Wisconsin, a game you cannot expect Utah State to win. The big test comes next week when we're really going to find out about Utah State going on the road to an ACC opponent and Wake Forest. And this is exactly what they wanted, because they're going to have the long week after this Thursday game.
That's right.
Try to get healthy and get prepared for a big-time non-conference game for a Mountain West team. And then it's on to San Jose State, another big test. If you could somehow, some way, get those games. You got 3 straight big ones at home in Mountain West play.
Yeah, Mountain West territory towards the end of the season. And, I mean, I don't see why that this team couldn't make another bowl game. They couldn't make another run. I mean, you look at the Wake Forest game, that's going to be a tough one next week. But their Mountain West Conference against San Jose State, they're going to have another tough one against BYU. But these are certainly some winnable games down the season for them if they can continue to perform like they did today. Now, you always, as a coach, you're always looking for measuring sticks. And for Matt Well and his staff, you know, the first week was a measuring stick. This week is a measuring stick when you talk about the type of talent that you're going against. So it's tough to gauge how they could be feeling going into next week, but it's certainly a good start here today.
Says it's his best recruiting class in his 5 years here, and he's playing a lot of youngsters. We do have some seniors out there like Myers, like Davis, but a lot of youngsters as well. We go down to our resident youngster, Francisco X Rivera.
Thank you very much, guys. We have gotten comments from Japan, from Sao Paulo, from Canada, and from all over the United States. Once again, we want to invite you to communicate with us, send us some feedback, send your comments in. We want to ask your questions to players and coaches after the game. This has been a lot of fun so far, and we appreciate all the communication you guys have had with us so far during the game. I got to talk to Coach Raffanisi after the half, and he told me that even though they're losing by 32 points, their defense was playing really good. He was really happy with what he was seeing in the beginning of the game. And in terms of what he wants to see in the second half, well, Tanner Guller finally getting some guys open. That has been a problem so far. Jalen Davis got an interception early in the game that got the rhythm going. But something that I really like about Rob Fennessy, he's always amped up. He's always fired up. And when I was talking to Anthony Ricks before the game, one of the defensive backs, he told us that he has changed the culture here in Idaho State. It's a different team, and he has made them believe that they can win. Obviously, they are facing an FBS team. They have not won against an FBS team since 2000. It was a victory here, actually, in Logan against Utah State. So the game is actually a little lopsided so far, but you know, it is what it is. But at least they're going to keep it competitive for 4 quarters, according to Coach Rob Fennessy. Now, guys, let's go upstairs to you. We have a surprise guest.
Surprise! It's the commissioner, the very first employee of the Mountain West. Craig Thompson, 1998 to now. You're still here, and you're still doing amazing things. I mean, this game's on Facebook. This is a new deal here. I know you were one of the first to stream on Twitter. You got the network going before Big Ten, SEC, and all that. Times are changing, but you stay the same, man.
Well, if you keep doing the same things over and over, you're going to have the same result, right? So I really appreciate the league giving us the opportunity. Stadium, Facebook, jumping in on a telecast like tonight. And it's interesting walking around the press box tonight. A lot of Utah State fans and supporters, alumni, they're giddy. I think out of those 6,000 students sitting there, I'd be interested to know how many thousands are watching the game as they're watching the game.
Exactly. You talk about the millennials and what it really means to
Everybody
them.
has the
especially
phone
on
out
the
during the game,
social aspects, absolutely as well. So, Commissioner, one of the things that I think is always interesting about the Mountain West, especially from an offensive perspective, is all the different styles that you get. I mean, you go to Air Force and you see the triple option. You go to San Diego State, you see the pro style. You go to Nevada and you got the pistol. All these different variety of offenses around the conference. What does that really mean to you as a commissioner? And do you see that as a big differentiator versus some of the other conferences?
Well, it does differentiate us, I think, nationally. And then you throw in geography, the fact that we play at 7,000 feet in sea level and we play in deserts. And so the topography is a big challenge too. But all these different styles, it is a brutal league. I know every commissioner says that our league is the best and we've done this and we've done that. But to be able to play in 8 consecutive weekends with all those different styles is a tremendous challenge.
Well, I know that you were at the forefront of the push to get the college football playoff as well. Spoke in front of Congress and really took the ball and ran with that. And I don't know anybody who doesn't love the playoff, especially compared to what we had. If you had another opportunity to speak in front of Congress or just the NCAA to improve on what we've been doing with the playoff, what would you say?
Well, if one tweak, not necessarily the playoff. I've gotten more comfortable with a 14 playoff in the semifinals when you're playing 12 regular season, a conference championship, and then potentially a semifinal championship game. That's an NFL schedule. That's 15 games. So we're comfortable with the 4, but what I would like to see is a change in the bowl structure where we have an opportunity to play against autonomous 5 people on a more frequent basis. We have the natural tie-in in Las Vegas, but maybe we could pick up some other games.
There's some talent right there.
Sure is.
Lawan Hunt's right up the middle for Utah State. Looking really good tonight.
From Hunt here. And Quinn Ficklins, the guy who makes the block again, number 51, the center. He's been rocking and rolling all day, Chris.
We're visiting here in the booth with Mountain West Commissioner Craig Thompson. He's been here since the very beginning. Back then, Utah State wasn't here back then. Look at Hunt making the move. Utah State, I mean, just speaks to the longevity that you've had, Mr. Commish. Utah State's been independent, been in the WAC, they've been Sunbelt all over the place, and now right here at home in the Mountain West where they belong.
Well, and they've done a tremendous job in a very, very short period of time in the Mountain West. I remember visiting with them about coming into the league, and they showed us all these artist renderings, and these beautiful, we may build this, we hope to build that. They built it all. We're in a beautiful state-of-the-art press box. We have a 12,000-seat indoor practice facility. They also play volleyball in the Wayne Estes Center. We've got the Icon weightlifting facility. They have done everything that they can possibly do to upgrade this program and invest.
So, Commissioner, talk about a little bit of the investments that's really happening across the conference. I mean, I did a game at Reno last year. They were renovating their stadium. Did a game at Air Force a few weeks before. They were renovating their stadium. How important is it to the conference to really put money back into the football program?
Well, it's important for the fans and it's important for recruiting. You want to have the kids playing the best facilities possible, and that's a huge part of it. Their first question is not necessarily where I'm going to do this or that. It's where am I going to play? Where am I going to stay? What kind of facilities do I get to work out in? And we're doing our part. We've spent over $1 billion, the 12 Mountain West institutions in the last few years.
Once again, visiting with the commissioner of the Mountain West on a good night for the Mountain West here. A little showcase for Utah State, Kent Myers and company, the only college football game available. Craig Thompson here from the get-go, and the WAC kind of merged into the Mountain West about a year and a half from now. It's a big media rights deal coming up, and I know fans are getting a lot more interested in that because of things like this. they are consuming live sports in different ways, different than you could have ever imagined back in 1998. What do you foresee in the future of live sports programming for the Mountain West?
I think we're going to see more of telecasts like tonight with Facebook and people. The acronym is out there that a lot of new people are getting in that space, not necessarily paying large right fees at this point, but it's going to be there.
Dax Raymond this time, number 87, bringing off a big chunk of yards here. I love what happens in the middle of this play where he just bounces off the umpire, keeps it moving, knocks him down, knocking other guys down. Dax is taking no prisoner. Matt Wells and company are excited to have him back. He was out last week because of an injury. But again, we are here with the Mountain West Commissioner, Craig Thompson. And seeing plays like this, Craig, it really reminds you just how many dominant players come out of the Mountain West. And we can talk quarterback. I mean, we've talked a lot about Kent Myers and what he's done. But when you look around the league, I mean, Wyoming may have the best quarterback in the country. Just how impressive is it for you as a commissioner to see the talent that is spread out around the conference?
Well, first-round draft pick about a decade ago, Alex Smith out of Utah at the time. And Derek Carr is making quite a name for himself, the nation's leading rusher of all time, Donnell Pumphrey. You know, that's the thing that's interesting about college football and all of the college athletics. You know, it really gets down to football 11 on 11 and basketball 5 on 5. You might be a 5-star, he might be a 1-star. He's got a bigger heart, he's got more desire, and he's ready to play. He'll beat you.
You mentioned 11 on 11. Can't help but notice you guys have 11 members right now in the Mountain West, and as always, as commissioner these days, you always have to have your finger on the pulse of potential movement because you can't be caught off guard. Where are we at right now? Because it kind of feels like we're in a little bit of a lull, which isn't necessarily a bad thing as far as conference realignment goes.
Well, it is, and I think with the media rights that people have given to the conferences they currently belong in, you know, made a commitment. Now, that's really just a lawsuit waiting to happen if you do decide you want to go somewhere else. We've seen that. But, you know, we have 12 football playing, 11 basketball playing institutions, and there is potentially some room for growth, and people have approached us. And, you know, I think right now, at least from an out west perspective, we're just somewhat in a holding pattern. We're trying to develop. I look at the Mountain West today in 2017 like it was in 2003, 2004. I thought it would take us 4 or 5 years to get to that BCS level and play in those New Year's games, and that's what happened with Utah and then TCU. And I think we're on the verge of that again. We've already had Boise State playing in the CFP game.
Right. Yeah, big time for sure. Now, Commissioner, a lot of people don't really understand or know this, but you're one of the longest tenured commissioners, you know, across the country. You're in year 20 now. What has it been like to really develop and go with this process and grow with the Mountain West?
Well, it's ever evolving. It changes a lot, and you've been around for a lot of those days, and I appreciate longest tenure versus the word old. And, you know, it's interesting because we've just had a lot of different members. We've had 13 or 14 members in our 18-year history. We've had dozens of coaches and presidents and athletic directors, but you know, you just try different things. We cannot be on the same level on the same day every day.
They reviewed that. It was much ado about nothing because they wanted to see if that ball came out before Dax Raymond's knee was down. The call on the field was indeed correct, or at least was not overturned. Call on the field stands, so the ball's on the 21-yard line, 1st and 10 for Utah State. And I do want to talk a little bit of basketball as well in the Mountain West, because I know there's a lot of people watching right now on Facebook. If they're Utah State fans, they're big basketball fans. They love their basketball here in Logan, Utah. Mountain West has had its issues the last, 2 to 4 years getting at large teams into the tournament. Now, the good news for fans is you're going to be in that room now, right? You're back on the committee.
Back on the committee,
I feel like, you know, some pitcher that they're bringing back for give us 2 innings, you know, and give it another year. But, yeah, we've had some challenges, but we're going to get better, and we're really focusing on scheduling these days, and that's a huge part of that at-large process.
Jordan Nathan into the end zone from 19 yards. Utah State continuing to pour it on.
They certainly are. And Kent Myers has just been electric really since the second quarter. Mostly the start of this game, but just he really has kept his foot on the gas when it comes to trying to put up points for sure. This Aggies team is really putting together some nice drives. And you have to start to wonder here now, Chris, if Kent Myers, if that was his last series, maybe we go down and get into some other guys on the roster as well.
45-6 now, as we're back with the Commissioner Thompson here of the Mountain West on an exciting night for Utah State, opening up the second season in this brand new building on Facebook. And that was an interesting point you brought up earlier. Fans at the game can watch it on their phones, maybe on a little bit of a delay, and get those replays and see what other people are commenting on. Those comments keep rolling in. I'm sure you're on Facebook as well. That's exciting stuff for fans at the game.
It really is, and I keep talking about how you receive your distribution. It's a kind of a generational thing. You've got these kids over there tonight. They're having a ball. Got a free T-shirt, by the way. Who's not going to come to the game?
I need to get a free T-shirt.
Yeah, we should go in the student section. But it's fun because they're commenting. They're sitting with their friends. This is a lifelong experience, and hopefully, first of three, there's going to be 2 more Facebook telecasts coming out of the stadium.
Yeah, big time for sure. But one of the things that I think is always interesting about the Mountain West, especially when it comes to football, is new coaches coming in, and this is the year where at San Jose State, you got a new coach. In Reno, there's a new coach as well. Just talk about what you've seen in that progression from just coaches being involved with the conference.
Oh, we've had some fantastic coaches. When we started the league 19 years ago, we had 4 or 5 Hall of Fame coaches: Lavelle Edwards, Fisher DeBerry, John Robinson, said, I was like, holy smokes, if these guys all leave in the next year, we're in trouble. And they didn't. And they were replaced by guys like Matt Wells and young coaches. Rocky Long is our longest tenured coach, and he's been in the league all 18 years.
Well, Commissioner, we appreciate you coming by tonight in the booth. Check out the Facebook Live telecast and check out the Utah State team that some people think is much improved from last season's 3-9 win. We really appreciate you coming by. Will we see you again? And I don't know if we're back in 5 years. Yeah. I mean, you've been around a while now.
Who knows what we'll be doing in 5 years, but we'll be around.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Well, I think we'll be back before then. I think we'll be back before then, but it's been a very successful ride. Commissioner Thompson here in the Mountain West. We appreciate him coming by. He's doing some reading about the Mountain West leading up to this game. Had the Mountain West Network before the Big Ten Network launched. Obviously before SEC, ACC networks coming.
Sure.
I mean, he was way ahead of his time.
Way ahead of his time. And that's actually where I got my start, Chris, in TV, was with the Mountain West Network back in the day. Certainly a lot of connectivity. I mean, I've been around this conference since 2011, and some of the amazing talent and players that come out of it. It's always exciting to see it grow.
Exciting for these Utah State fans to see every facet of the game working right now. Soli Tumaiveta with a big hit. And Idaho State has to punt it away again, down 45-6. Early going in the third quarter. And we'll see how deep Utah State goes into its bench.
Yeah, see if we can't get a look at the freshman, Jordan Love, at quarterback. Maybe he comes in. But let's just take a look to give you some perspective about the total yards in this game between the Bengals and the Aggies. Utah State, 477 yards through 3 quarters. And we've got a lot of the third quarter left. So it's been a complete domination right now for the Aggies. But someone else who's really dominated those drums earlier is Francisco. Francisco, what you got for us?
I try to dominate anytime I can, my friend, but I want to read some comments. I'm really happy about this message from Professor J.C. Miller, and I wish she had been my teacher when I was in college at Long Beach State. She says, I teach a class at USU campus, and I offer extra credit to my students that came up to the game. Also, another great message that I have here from Felicia Tamaivina, saying, thank you for the live coverage. So good to watch my brother play all the way from here in Brisbane, Australia. They're also watching us in Northwest China. Little shout out to what Israel sent. So we got messages from Japan, Brazil, Canada, all over the United States. Let me see. Samuel Halta loving the live feed. Who else? Amber Beck, alumni in Arizona, saying go Aggies. So then again, thank you very much for sending us the comments. All your questions. Once again, I want to hear a very smart question for the coach of USU after the game, because I'm going to be able to ask it and to ask Matt Wells if you guys get creative with a question. So go ahead. I am challenging you guys. And also a game that we played last week at San Diego State. Name your favorite Utah State alumni. So guys, I challenge you to start. I know you kind of went through it throughout the game, so go ahead.
I thought for a second, and that's just because I'm just that way. I thought you were going to say name your favorite cheerleader. I really did. I'm sorry.
Is that what you thought was going to happen there?
That's what was on the screen, but hey, get your head out of the gut. We've got a new quarterback in the ball game. His name's Jordan Love, so we will get to see that freshman. And Utah State says he's really accurate on deep throws. Not sure if we're going to be able to see him throw deep in a game like this. But we will get our look at the freshman who hands it off. And that's the speedster El Toro Allen, who had a touchdown earlier in this game.
Allen has certainly balled out. Had that TD earlier, another big run from him there. But it's always exciting when young players get a chance to see quality minutes. I mean, you talk about a young freshman like Jordan Love getting a chance to play. Look at how much experience he will get in this third quarter, into the fourth quarter. It's just something that young quarterbacks don't get a chance to see. But the guy who we all have got a chance to see and put up these big numbers is Kent Myers. And just look at his night today against Idaho State. 323 passing yards, 4 total touchdowns. He had 2 on the ground, 2 in the air, 85 rushing yards. So if there's anyone who the coaching staff thinks can emulate what Myers' performance is, it's really Jordan Love. They're high on him as a young quarterback, Chris.
Good opportunity to see him here. We did not get to see him in that Wisconsin game. They kept Kent Myers in that game the whole way. And I know some fans were wondering why that was in a 59-10 game, why he was still out there. Well, Matt Wells said he wanted Myers to have something good happen to him at the end of that game so he could take something positive out of it and into this week. It never really happened. It didn't really matter at all. Oh, that's a stick.
Big time
Mario
Jenkins, Jenkins. Yeah, he's saying, I'm still in the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, he knows
Don't
there's NFL
forget about
scouts
me
here, too. I mean, there's 7 different teams represented by scouts, including the LA Rams. Eagles are here.
Shout out to Philly.
And a nice shifty move again from El Toro Allen. Didn't get much. Back to near the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long.
Third down and 11 yards to go.
A reminder that we're going to have another game for you on Facebook Saturday. A rivalry game in New Mexico.
You'll actually be doing that game.
That's right.
We'll be there.
Heading there tomorrow. Aggies of New Mexico State against the New Mexico Lobos. And Love gets rid of it and throws it away. He was nearly brought down. Mentioning those NFL scouts, checking out these guys from Utah State and Idaho State. Man, there was a good one that came through here less than a decade ago. Bobby Wagner. He was the WAC Defensive Player of the Year in 2011. And I don't know, he might be better in the NFL than he was even in college.
Yeah, and that's tough to say when you talk about 446 tackles in school. But yeah, he won that Super Bowl. He is a big-time player. You got to respect what Wagner has done. And that's just kind of the thing. I mean, we touched on this, Chris. We get an intentional grounding call for Jordan Love. There's no receivers in the area. It's one of those teaching moments for a young quarterback and be able to get out of the pocket and throw the ball away.
We'll have the first punt of the game, Darius, from Utah State. First opportunity to check out Aaron Dalton, who's been itching to get in there.
Give me a chance. Give me a chance. No, if you're not seeing your punter, that's a good day for your offense indeed. There's just so many terrific players coming out of this conference and coming out of both of these teams. Get an offside penalty here, maybe a false start.
And we're going to go on Utah State now, trying to work in some second and third string players. So it's a good opportunity for them, good learning moments. They might get some moments like this, though. Micah Breland is worried that might go on him.
False start. Nope. Number 21, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
You're all right, Micah.
Okay, they got one Hunt there. Look at that. Starter out on special teams. You got to respect that at this point in the game, when the game's kind of out of reach, still keeping your starters in there for quality reps on special teams. Chris, it is important, as Matt Wells likes to say all the time.
A catch in traffic from Kieran Yancey. Fair catch is made, and Idaho State once more on offense.
You have to wonder here, too. I mean, the Bengals haven't had a chance to really get anything going on offense, but since the game is kind of out of reach, one of two things can happen here, Chris. One, you can go down that playbook and try some stuff, whether it's trick plays, just interesting nuggets, things that you wanted to see in live action. You can do that. That's one way to look at it if you're the Bengals. But the second piece is they also can get some younger guys some reps. I know Tanner wants to put up some good numbers. He hasn't had a chance to really have a whole lot of success today. But Gunnar Amos, number 12, the backup, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, maybe in the third quarter or even in the fourth quarter, we get to see some of the second and third strings for the Bengals as we take a look.
Looks like Idaho a picture State, right out of a movie. 1981, Idaho State, 12-1, went to that national championship game and won it all. Outscored 3 playoff opponents, 126 to 35. That's right.
I mean, you see that photo there, and when was that taken? Because it just seems so far.
Like, yeah, you're right.
Like, really? Was that what it looked like in the 80s to take pictures in the 80s?
You know, I think what we're doing here, we're using one of those Facebook filters. We're making it black and white.
It's an Instagram filter. Oh, man, but better days for Idaho State for sure.
This Idaho State team hasn't been to the playoffs in the FCS since 1983. 2 years after that, it's been a long struggle. Rob Fennessy trying to turn things around. We were speaking with him a couple of days ago. He's really excited about the opportunity after being the wide receivers coach last season. He was an offensive coordinator at Montana from 03 to 09. He actually won the Mike Campbell Award as the top FCS assistant back then. So he's been a part of winning programs, and he wants to do what the previous coaching staff did not, and he was a part of that.
Yeah, he talks a lot about
Idaho.
Yeah, he talks a lot about his time at Montana under Bobby Hulk and the championships that they won and all the games that they won. It was really impressionable on him as a coach. So he's taken a lot of that success and really tried to put that into the program at Idaho State. What are those things? The strength and conditioning program, the nutrition program, making sure that his guys are in the right place at the right time, increasing the GPA for the team. So he's really tried to come in and really do it the right way. It's just tough when you go against a good team like Utah State. The Aggies are flying around everywhere. It's tough to really compete, but I think Fennessy might be the right guy for a long time for the Bengals.
So he's got credibility with the kids because of all those years at Montana, going to national championship games. I've been in this 27 years, he said. I'm ready to run. Picked 13th last in the Big Sky this season. 0-6 on third down, and you can make that 0 for 7 on third downs in this game.
And yeah, I know it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback from up here when plays don't work, but if the game was close and it was third down and long, I just wonder if they would have called that same play. You know, like nothing upfield, nothing at the sticks, not trying to intentionally get the first down, just trying to throw it out to your running back in space to see if he gets it. I would assume that if this game were close, they would have been a little more creative on third down. So I think that that's important right now for the Bengals is you can't just give up and call anything. You still have to play football. You still have to be respectful and go out there and compete. Have some pride for yourself.
Van Leeuwen not back to return this kick. Maybe Van Leeuwen should stay on the bench, because that was a nice return there from Utah State's Jamal Evans. Francisco, what do you got?
Thanks, guys. Aggies offensive lineman Robert Castañeda getting some love from his parents, Robert and Misty. They're watching the game and sending a shout out to their son. Also, we wanted to send best wishes and recovery to Mark Oakley, who's watching from Hiram, Utah, 15 minutes away, but he can't be here because he's at home battling a kidney stone. So best wishes to you, Mark. Also, you have a story for us as well with the fans page.
Yeah, we have a lot of dedicated fans. As you can see, they're watching from all over the world. And the ones here in the stadium are pretty dedicated as well. I mentioned earlier that there's people who got here at 11 a.m. And I just met a girl who's been coming to every home game. She sat front row for the past 6 years. She's a grad student here at Utah State. I recognized her because I saw her in the front row at my first game as a freshman. So it's awesome to see the dedication, the tradition here at Utah State. You can always expect it every time you come to Magritte Stadium.
You have a great memory, Paige, by the way. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Paige and Francisco. As we keep this thing moving with no commercials, the 3rd down and short. Alex Byers on the reception.
Byers is the senior, getting some quality minutes here deep into the 3rd quarter.
They did rule that a fumble, but Utah State was able to track it down. 3rd down and short for the freshman Jordan Love out of Bakersfield, California.
And Chris, I'm looking through the comments right now on Facebook, and Alan McNeil says, I'm actually shocked at the production quality. Good work, Facebook. I'm not exactly sure what Alan was expecting, but we certainly appreciate the love.
We've got professionals running the show for us here. It's good to hear, though. Never know what you're going to get from a so-called stream. But with Facebook, we're doing it right. We've got good games to bring you in the Mountain West and Conference USA. A real good one we expect on Saturday between New Mexico and New Mexico State. We'll be there with Daniel Jeremiah and Shea Pepler on the sidelines. And at every game, we'll have a social media correspondent from the home team. Nice punt and nice coverage back there. Down at the 2-yard line by Dallin Levitt.
Interesting to see again what quarterback comes out for the Bengals. Will they stick with Guler? Go to 2nd string, Gunnar Amos. Looks like Guler is going to come out. And so, Chris, it's important right now to really try to put up a good series, to really go down your playbook, look at the reads, make your checks, and really try to put out some good effort, much like Francisco's been doing on the sideline.
Francisco X Rivera.
Thanks, guys. And before we go to a message from Utah State University, I want to add to the conversation about my favorite Aggies of all time. And I have to go with one of the best left tackles in the game, former Buccaneer, now with the Raiders. They have one of the best offensive lines in the game. I'm talking about Donald Penn. So now let's go to a message from Utah State University.
At Utah State University, we defy the expectations of a typical college experience. Here, you'll find a community, but no commute. And an education instead of a lecture. Located in a top 15 college town, it's easy to find your place. This is more than just a school. We're Aggies. Join us at Utah State University.
So we're having a great time once again here at Utah State. So, guys, what do you think? Do you go for Donald Penn or someone else? I also have Robert Turbin, who won a title, the Super Bowl title with the Seahawks.
Well, those are both certainly some good options for sure. But here goes another one that you got to consider. Lavelle Edwards, offensive lineman from 49 to 51. Again, back in those times, there was no stadium. There's just the fence. That's it. That's all they had.
That was his Facebook profile picture back in 1950. Lavelle Edwards, synonymous with BYU. That's the first institution you think of when you think of Lavelle Edwards, because what he did as a coach there, but played his college ball right here at Utah State. And Flanagan was down. They ruled him down before the ball popped out. Idaho State.
The ruling on the field is that the runner was down before possession was lost.
Yeah, I already said that, pal. I already said it.
That a way to call him out.
Come on, Kevin Boytman.
Yeah,
nah, he's just announcing for the fans here. It's all good. The Mountain West crew's done a good job tonight. Idaho State bus down day of the game. Guess they'll bus right on back tonight. Don't even have to stay at the motel. I'm impressed with
nice
Logan,
hotels.
man.
Yeah, you know, you actually had a really nice hotel as well, Chris, experience that maybe you could share with us about your accommodations.
I can drive right up to my room. Just right up to the door. It's fantastic. Some fresh coffee this morning. A Hawaiian kick to it. Right near the 7-Eleven. I love this place because they've got Chick-fil-A, and then just right down the road closer to Salt Lake City. And it's about an hour to 90 minutes to Salt Lake City. Right down the road, you got an In-N-Out. You can eat at In-N-Out and Chick-fil-A the same day.
Well, I mean, if you want to drive 90 miles, but yeah, you certainly can.
I did it yesterday.
It's possible. It is certainly possible.
Pull the old double dipper.
Indeed. But one place we did get a chance to go, the Beehive. I had a chance to have a meal at the Beehive.
Yeah, what do you guys on Facebook think of the Beehive? We had some nice craft beer.
I had the salmon. I had the salmon. It's a pretty good cut.
Right out of the Great Salt Lake. Very salty.
Good times at the Beehive, indeed.
That's a first down. That's Mr. Dean. He's the squeaky one out there to the 39-yard line. Look at the quarterback. Guller just gets up there, gets his guy up. He's still in this thing.
And as they very well should be, Chris. I mean, if you're going to be out there on the field, try to put your best foot forward and do a good performance. Michael Dean, I mean, he's the slot receiver for them. They haven't had a lot of chance to get him open. He has struggled getting open in one-on-one coverage here today. But he's certainly a guy that they lean on and can lean on as the games progress.
Eric Packard says great wings at the Beehive. We really messed up. No one went for the wings last night when we ate with the crew. And Danny McBride, he just checked you down there. As he said, there's an In-N-Out in Ogden, only about 40 minutes.
All right. I stand corrected.
Hey, and my wife just joined the broadcast. Hello to Kristen Hassel. Watching on Facebook, probably from the bed. Just put the puppy to sleep. 3:32 to go in the third quarter. Utah State jumped out to a 17-0 lead. Have not looked back. There was a moment there when Idaho State got an interception and a touchdown, but as soon as they boxed the extra point, it's been all downhill since then.
And you really got to give credit to the Aggies, especially on defense. They have bent some, especially allowing the Bengals to get down in the red zone multiple times, but they have not broken at all. Until maybe now. Big
Breaking
play.
Free was Hagen Graves.
Hagen Graves there. Still playing tough right now for the Bengals. It is appreciated from up here. We're seeing new guys run in and out for the Aggies, but Graves is going to catch this. Just a nice slant route across the middle and is able to get up the field for a big gain. And we missed a lot of that in the first half, Chris. I mean, I can't stress it enough how the wide receiving core for the Bengals was just struggling to get over. There was nowhere for Guller to go with the football like there is right now.
That is Michael Dean, touchdown, 42 yards.
Big time play from Dean. We've been waiting to see this sort of thing from the Bengals. We know that they can put up some significant points. He's working against David Woodward here, number 9. You'll see 9 trailing him the whole way. Dean had him beat. Woodward had no chance. And the second touchdown of the game for the Bengals.
Trying to take a little something back home. They play in an arena. It's called Holt Arena. I used to call it a dome. The Holt Arena opened in 1970. Second oldest enclosed stadium behind the Astrodome. That extra point is good. Didn't look pretty, but he worked this time for Idaho State as we take another look at the touchdown pass.
Just a nice throw over the shoulder there from Guller. No contention there for Dean after he got past that second level with Woodward. It was just easy pickings there. You have to understand here for the Aggies, they're trying to get other players some valuable experience and some valuable reps. But even when that happens, Chris, you know, if you're a guy who doesn't play a whole lot,
Smile.
you gotta be able to step up and play well while you're out there. So another teaching moment right now from Andy Woodward. But
hopefully she's watching.
Loves his mother.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. D.
Hey, let's go.
Are they watching on the screen tonight? See if they think onside. Probably not. The 45-13 game. Coach Fennessy still coaching away. Came in here with realistic expectations. I asked him if he thought this was a rivalry, if he considered it a rivalry, because they're only 90 miles away, 90 minutes away. He said, absolutely not. They are on a different level.
He said you have to win sometimes in order to be considered a rival. But that brings me to a comment on Facebook here, Chris, from Roger Crawford. He says, bummer, this is the difference in a Division I team and a 1A and a 1AA team. So we talked about this at the top, the difference between FBS and FCS. I don't know that it's as drastic as what we saw here today, but the difference definitely is in the depth, in the second team players for an FCS team versus the second team players for an FBS team. But I do think that the Bengals are better than 45-13 when it talks about going against the Aggies.
Well, they had their chances in the first quarter. They had the opening drive of the game, a 4th and inches that they went for and did not get. They had another 4th and short in Utah State territory, the second drive of the game that they decided to punt, and Utah State took it 85 yards for a touchdown. And there you see some of that depth right there at running back. El Toro Allen, who was a 4th stringer to start the season, number 4 running back, pushed up to number 3 because of Lindsey's injury, and he's had a touchdown already tonight.
He's played well, but that was a veteran on the defensive side, Mario Jenkins, not holding containment on the outside like he's supposed to. So I go back to this, Chris. I know the game is out of reach, and you know there's different guys coming in for the Aggies. For the Bengals, the starters are still out there. So these guys are expected to play at a high level. You can't be loafing. You can't be giving up on plays regardless of what the circumstances of the game are right now. If you're out there, you got to compete.
Love with a nice dart, and that is Gerald Bright. First down yardage, and really the first chance we've had to see Love unleash the cannon.
You got to be encouraged with what you're seeing from Jordan Love there. Now, he had a nice clean pocket because of the offensive line, but he delivered an accurate pass. You got to remember, he's just a freshman, so getting some valuable minutes right now, and a guy who hopefully one day can take over the reins once Kent Myers is done.
And that might be less than a year from now. Myers, the senior, and there goes Allen again, close to the 40-yard line. Will bring up 3rd down and 1. Myers forced into action as a freshman, going all the way through his senior season out of Texas. Again, El Toro Allen. He's got some speed to him.
Well, he's playing hard too, Chris, and that's what I really respect. Because, you know, I got to tell you from experience, when I was at Notre Dame and in the NFL with the Texans and the Broncos and stuff, I've been in some games that were out of reach on my side with us winning, and then some on the other side with us losing. It's just so important that when you're on the field, you have to understand that people are watching the film, whether it's other teams, fans, you know, family. Everyone is watching the film as it goes on. So while the game might be out of reach, if you're out there loafing and not giving 100% effort, it will show up and people will see it. So it's important to always put your best foot forward, and that's what I appreciate about El Toro Allen. He's still competing out there.
Justin Hervey stopped in the backfield by a bundle of Bengals as we entered the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Check in again with Francisco at the end of the quarter. That'd be the last play of the 3rd quarter, with Utah State in command, getting a chance to see the true freshman quarterback for the first time. Jordan Love, taller than Kent Myers at 6'3", and the ability to throw a deep ball. Justin Hervey around the end and brings on the contact, initiates the contact with Atkin Aguirre.
Hervey, another one of those 3 backs that we've seen today for the Aggies. Lawan Hunt, we talked about him at the top. But Toro Allen, he's got a touchdown today. And now Hervey getting a chance to get some burn as we close out the third quarter. 45-13, the Aggies continue to put the hurt on the Bengals. Let's take a look at what an Aggie is. Look at the different teams across the country, from New Mexico State to Texas A&M, Utah State. Who claims it? Who claims the Aggie as a number 1?
So UC Davis played in the second Facebook Live game last week, played at San Diego State. They're the Aggies. Utah State playing in the next Facebook Live game tonight, and then New Mexico State playing in the 4th Facebook Live game on Saturday against New Mexico. What is an Aggie? That doesn't answer the question. It's agricultural. That's the answer. Francisco, what you got?
Well, I'm not very agricultural, but I don't know what an Aggie is, but I'm all about love. And I'm getting a message from Debbie Gray Collins saying, there's my son, number 77. Chase Collins playing offensive lineman for Idaho State. So there's love, there's my definition. So talking Aggies fans, what do you have for us, Paige?
Well, it took me a really long time to figure out that an Aggie wasn't a bull like our true blue, or our big blue mascot normally. When I was a little girl, I was confused, but it actually means agriculturalist. Utah State is one of the #1 ag schools in the nation, so that's what we're really proud about. But what we're really proud about tonight is this Aggie football team that we've seen in the third quarter. They played a little different tonight than in past third quarters, and we're really happy about that. We're hearing a lot of that through the fans, through the people on Facebook. We're stoked about it. And you know I'm not the only person with an 8:30 in the morning class tomorrow morning. I know I'm for sure not the only one with the earliest class. And it's cool to see that nobody's tired, nobody's leaving. It's still loud, it's still full, and that's what we like to see here.
Yeah, well, I have a 7 a.m. flight. I don't know if it counts the same. Mine's for fun, yours for study, so sorry about that. But anyway, guys, get to the books. You know, this is fun, obviously, but now, tomorrow, time to hit the books. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, but it's Friday, man. I mean, you can go.
Here goes
Fridays,
Chris again,
right?
man. Here he goes again.
What?
Skip class, miss Fridays, just take a playoff. But we did show, Mrs. Collins was asking for her son. Definitely got a chance to show her Chase. Chase Collins had a nice shot at him there. So, hey, Mama Collins. Always good to show some love.
The kinds of things that we can do on Facebook here. I mean, we're interacting with you. We are putting on this broadcast for you. Tell us what you want to see. Hey, if you want to see the mascot, I do.
Do you?
I want to see the mascot. I'm looking for him. I haven't been able to find him. Big Blue. 42-yard attempt here from Dominic Eberle. And it's right on through. Eberle with a nice night for Utah State. A lot to be happy about on the special teams for the Aggies. We've mentioned the game on Saturday. New Mexico State at New Mexico. Now, New Mexico is one of those teams on the rise here in the Mountain Division. Won a share of the title a season ago, hosting a New Mexico State team that beat New Mexico last September, 32-31. New Mexico State came from behind, touchdown with just under 6 minutes to play. Bob Davie and company going to seek some revenge. And this New Mexico team, Darius, has won 8 of 9. Bob Davie took over a program that had lost 37 of its last 40 games. What a turnaround he's made down there in Albuquerque.
You know, he really has been terrific. I mean, I remember his days when he was at Notre Dame, and, you know, you never knew exactly how things were going to turn out when you bring a new coach in. But Davie was a seasoned guy. I mean, he had spent some time in broadcasting before he took the job. But since he's taken it, I mean, he has really turned that program around in a hurry. That should be an exciting contest on Saturday. Looking forward to it.
Now, that's not the real mascot. That's just like a fan mascot. The real mascot is Big Blue, but that'll do. That'll do, Pig.
Fair enough.
Striping the stadium. And hey, there he is.
Yeah.
Big Blue.
That's what Francisco was supposed to be doing earlier with the arms thing.
Now, I've got a story about Big Blue. Back in the day, Utah State used to run out a real white bull and they would paint the live bull blue for the games. It was discontinued, believe it or not, but not because it was like mean to the animal or anything like that. It was discontinued because the bull was ruining the field.
Just he had paint like rubbing all off of him while he's running around. Is that the issue?
Just stomping all over the place.
Oh, jeez, man. Let's take another shot at Big Blue here. There he is jamming. He's getting it. See? And then there she's just doing a selfie right there. See?
There you go.
It just works, man. It
blue
looks
tongue and
good.
everything.
It looks good. I wonder if she posted that on the live stream.
Can you post pictures to the live stream? That's probably a question I should have asked beforehand, but I think you can. Oh, yes, you can. Absolutely. There you go, folks. You can post a picture, and we can see it from here. Send us.
It'd be great to see people who are in the stadium, too. Sending live stream photos from either their view or some selfies with Big Blue, whatever it might be. But the Bengals are continuing to keep their starters out on offense. You see Guller there handing the football off. Still trying to keep this game going. Ty Flanagan is still in the game, and he's had a pretty good game thus far, Chris. I mean, he hasn't had much help around him, and you know, when you're down a whole lot of points, you stop running the football as much, but I think he was as good as advertised, maybe a little bit better in the redshirt sophomore running back, Ty Flanagan.
We'll see what they can do in the Big Sky. It's probably going to be another rough year for Idaho State. It's going to take a while to try to turn this program around in a really tough division there in FCS, and that is Ty Flanagan. Man, he must have heard us from down there. It's like,
burning ears, man, burning ears indeed. Nice job catching him, and then look at the leap there over Ferguson. Wow. You know, when I was playing at Notre Dame, my coach used to always tell me, under no circumstance should you jump ever when you get the football. But sometimes it just looks so good, you just got to let it go.
It looks good, but
have some fun.
You know what? It doesn't really get you anywhere. It might get you like an extra yard. I understand it at the goal line. At the 40-yard line, I don't know. I might, but what do I know? I was just a golfer and play football. I wanted to ask you, Darius, did you play against I mean, back then it was Division 1AA. Did you play against those teams at Notre Dame?
I mean, that was a nice jump, like a hurdle. You know, we did not. We did not play, at least to my knowledge, when I was at Notre Dame from 04 to 06, we did not play any 1AA teams. We always played the service academies, though, like Notre Dame still does. We play the service academies all the time, and the big rivalry with USC. And at the time, the rivalry was with Michigan when I was at Notre Dame, but that has since kind of dissipated.
It's a shame that's gone away.
Yeah, it's kind of gone away now.
And it's a shame, as a Big Ten fan, it's a shame Notre Dame didn't just join the Big Ten.
Well, now you're getting into territory that has to do with a lot of stuff outside of conferences, and you know, money and things are involved. You know, sometimes it just makes sense to stand on your own, and that's kind of where Notre Dame has been for a long time.
Would love to just trade Rutgers for Notre Dame.
That would be quite the change indeed. Guller, incomplete pass there, trying to hit his big tight end.
Tanner Connor there, out of Washington. A lot of players out of the state of Washington on both these teams. Rob Fennessy from California. They actually had earthquakes.
They did, that's
up
right.
in this area.
They sure did.
Last weekend, and Fennessy said he felt it. Said it was kind of cool. Nobody got hurt. Somebody might get hurt here. Boy, look out. Micah McGalley.
Big time by McGalley. Big time play. Loving to see guys continuing to compete. I mean, McGalley is a guy who's a freshman, 6'2", 220, so he's a young player getting some quality minutes right now on defense for the Aggies.
Gooby McGruber says Rutgers should play Utah State.
Yeah, he also says that Notre Dame should play Utah State as well. Interesting scheduling there.
You got to save some room for conference play, folks.
They
did go on the road to Wisconsin, and they'll be going on the road a lot more in the coming years. A penalty marker is out, which might negate this nice run back. Good tackle from the punter, Sean Chaney.
Yeah, Chaney getting involved, man. Love to see the punter make a play, but got a couple of penalties here. We'll have to see what the call is. Well, let's take a look at the Idaho State Bengals schedule.
Now they're getting paid for Nevada. They got paid for this game, about $280,000.
Well, it's not just about the cash.
$300,000 at Nevada. Hey, Coach Fennessy says, I like it.
It helps the program.
And the kicking team.
It's a personal foul on the kicking team. So the return does stand, and Utah State will have it deep in Idaho State territory. Fennessy said that the previous regime didn't like these kinds of games because of the risk of injury and
confidence too. That's the other thing for your team is you want to have confidence
but it's a stage.
To build guys up, but it's certainly a stage. You know, sometimes it does good for recruiting too, because when you play on some of these big stages, I mean, we saw last week a couple of FCS teams win. Baylor went down. UNLV lost as well to Howard. So it can happen. It can certainly happen, but anytime you get a chance to be on the big stage, it's a good thing regardless of where your program is.
Roy Zout wants to know if the broadcaster has chewed tobacco. I don't.
I do not either. Weird question. But all right, but maybe Francisco does. Let's see if Francisco
you got
tobacco.
Got some Kodiak down there?
While he's hitting the drums and dancing.
I'm just reading for now, guys. I'm trying to keep it mellow. And we have some Aggie fans in Latin America. Jose Fernando is watching us in Colombia. Muchas gracias, Jose Fernando, por vernos. We also have some Idaho State parents watching the game. And we want to send a shout out to Jake Molnar from his parents. They say shout out to Jake number 75, O-line ISU. Love, Mom and Dad. So then again, I want to really appreciate all the comments from Idaho State fans as well. They're losing the game, but at least they stay tuned so far throughout the broadcast. So then again, thanks to you guys for watching as well.
Yeah, some love for the offensive lineman, Jacob Molnar, out of Capitol High School in South Boise, Idaho.
And there goes Mario Jenkins again, making plays. He brings down Jordan Love. Well, let's get some love.
Oh, look
on Facebook there. Look at those photos. Wait, is that Mark? Is that our producer right there? Look at Mark.
I didn't recognize him without the hat.
He looks like a kid in a candy store. Look how excited he is looking at those screens. Impressive indeed. But join the conversation. You can post pictures. We're seeing videos there as well. It is all fun and all good. And one of the other things we mentioned, Francesco mentioned this earlier, questions for Coach Wells at the end of the game. I'd love to see what people on Facebook think that Francisco should ask him. You get a big win like this after a big loss last week.
Oh, that's just gorgeous. Now, there was a penalty marker that flew, but that was nicely done. Gage Ferguson down there to catch the punt. We don't see that enough.
You just don't. I mean, talk about showing effort on special teams, but it looks like it's coming back. Look at the call here now.
Local kid from Mountain Crest High
Illegal
School.
formation. More than 5 players in the backfield on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
You know what? It'll still show up on the film, though, right? I mean, that's something you can feel good about if you gauge.
It's a penalty. Did it really happen, though? You have to ask yourself that. But 5 guys not set on that line there.
5 guys. That's another good joint here in Logan.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Very nice tie-in for 5 guys. Although I have come to love Shake Shack for burgers. Not sure if you've tried that, Chris, but they
never had the Shake Shack.
A chance. Yeah, they're really good.
Maybe is that a West Coast deal? I'm out there in the Northeast.
Oh, you guys don't have Shake Shack out there?
I don't believe so.
No. You got McDonald's?
Honestly, there's like one McDonald's in the town I live in. Apparently, Shake Shack's in New York. What about a Shakey's Pizza? That's a touchback.
Yeah, we got Shakey's out west as well.
All right, let's settle the debate. Better hamburger, In and Out, or 5 guys?
Wow. So that's
we posed that to you on Facebook.
But would love to hear
people's
hamburger. Thoughts.
Better burger, In and Out, or 5 guys?
What do you think, Francisco?
Oh man, I gotta go Tommy's. West Coast. I'm all
he
LA.
just came with something
That wasn't even an option. Now it's pretty all right anyway. They're watching us from Ukraine, from the capital city, Kiev. So once again, thank you very much to everyone watching in Brazil, Japan, China, Canada, from all over the place. Also, I want to chip in on the commentary about Coach Wells and getting all the questions. I gotta say, I have been getting questions, but some of them are funny, smart alecky. So guys, please be creative, be smart, and send me something that I can use that Coach Wells is not gonna look at me saying, what are you asking me, kid? So anyway, please get creative, guys.
Good luck.
Maybe we can ask Coach about where the best burger is.
Maybe you can ask about Dick Motta, a Utah State graduate. Boy, look at that get up.
You know
graduated here in '53. Now, he won an NBA title with the Bullets back in the '70s.
Yeah, 78, actually. It was a nice career for him. But I wonder, Chris, if you could get away with that undershirt. I think it's possible now. I think it plays.
I think you can get away with anything on Facebook.
It plays.
I mean, we're in polos, dude. We're in polos. I've got jeans on calling the game. We're getting a lot of votes for Five Guys. I mean, early on, In-N-Out took a lead. Five Guys is roaring back, and I'm going Five Guys.
You're going Five Guys.
The vote here in the booth, I think, is Five Guys.
Man, oh man, it's hard. Maybe she's texting right now what her vote is. Does she look like an In-N-Out girl or a Five Guys girl?
You sounded like an old man there. She's texting. No, she's commenting.
Yeah, she's commenting. Yeah, she's got her friends there hanging out. We want to hear from you. Keep the comments coming. I am an In-N-Out guy. Now, this could be because I live in L.A., so an In-N-Out's right down the street from my house. But I think In-N-Out, you're going to get a better value and a better meal.
We are seeing a lot of those comments about how In-N-Out is a better value. Not as many options at the In-N-Out.
Yeah,
not nearly as many. You can do a lot with the burger at Five Guys.
Well, you can get the animal style. Come on, you got to broaden your horizon. There's some secret stuff on the menu a lot of people don't know about, so take that into consideration for your votes.
I'm going overrated on In-N-Out. Overrated. I'm chanting. Can we get the chant started?
Overrated. Oh, jeez.
Straight up the gut, it's Flanagan again. Penalty marker thrown in the backfield. Likely coming on back.
Love to get the call here, but Chris, I think this would just be an excellent time for the Bengals.
Number 66, offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
As we get a holding call on the Bengals. I just think this would be a good time right now to air it out some. Let Guller throw the football down the field, see if some guys can make some plays in one-on-one coverage. It would be a good time to get down into that playbook, dial up some nice passes.
Jenny's worried that this game isn't going to prepare Utah State for what they're going to face at Wake Forest. Now, they've gone to Wisconsin, but in your opinion, Darius, is this team ready to go against an ACC team like Wake Forest?
It's really
it's
tough.
It's not Clemson. It's not Florida State.
It's not, but it's tough because all coaches are doing every week is they're just looking at measuring sticks saying, when we play such and such competition, how do we perform? Now, Wisconsin is a better football team than the Aggies are. I don't think there's any doubt or question about that, but they're certainly not 50 points better. An excellent shuffle pass there to allow McFarland to get up to the second level. But you see the patience here from Guller, too. He's just going to step back, look to his left, wait for it. Nice flick in the middle there. But those are the plays that you can call at a time like right now to see if they work, see if there's certain things that you can do in live action as the Bengals start to get into their Big Sky Conference schedule. But, I'm not exactly sure, Chris, as to whether or not you would call this a prep game for going against Wake Forest if you're the Aggies. But it's certainly something that you can use as momentum to say that we took care of business the way that we were supposed to. We didn't in week 1, but we finally did in week 2.
I love the non-conference that Utah State put together this year. You really challenge yourself at Wisconsin. You get a little bit of money, and we do have an injury on the field. You come back, Thursday game here against a team that's close by in Idaho State that you should beat. And you go to Wake Forest. You also have BYU coming in here. And BYU is an independent, no longer a conference foe. Those are 3 really tough games in the non-conference where Utah State is challenging itself. And that's Tristan Cano. Beg your pardon. Andrew Adeoye on the ground for Utah State.
He's down. Looks like he's up, running off on his own fruition there. But let's look at the Mountain West preseason poll. Utah State only 28 votes, all the way at the bottom when it comes to the Mountain Division.
Should be noted, though, that last year Wyoming was picked dead last. Wyoming
sure were. Won the conference.
Along with New Mexico, and tie at the top of a complicated tie-breaking scenario. This is a really good division in the Mountain West, and a lot of big home games coming up for Utah State. I mentioned BYU. They've got Colorado State coming in here. They've got Wyoming coming in here. Boise State is coming in here. You can't really ask for much more out of a home schedule.
We talk about that measuring stick, Chris. I mean, you got to play the good competition to see where your team is and understand that you got to play at a certain level. It also helps recruiting, Chris. I mean, because if you're a young recruit watching this game now and you're hearing about this schedule, you play in all the big-time games and get a chance to go see some incredible stadiums and play in some quality opponent. That's a good for a recruiting standpoint as well.
In that Wake Forest game next Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Mountain time. Wake beat Presbyterian 51-7 opening weekend. They're at Boston College on Saturday. And we mentioned next up for Idaho State is a game against Nevada.
Another Mountain West opponent.
7 o'clock Eastern time in Reno. Nevada coming off a loss at Northwestern.
New coach down in Reno too as well.
Francisco X Rivera holding it down on the sidelines for us all night long, and on Facebook, checking the comments.
So right behind me is Adeoye. I think they were checking him for a concussion. So far he looks okay. We'll keep you posted on his case. I got to tell you guys, we got 2 winners for questions of the game for Coach Wells. One of them from Braden Bunce, the other one from Neil Whitaker. I'm not going to tell you what the questions are, but I'm going to be able to ask them to Coach Wells at the end of the game. So Braden and Neil, congratulations. You asked very smart questions, and we're going to make history asking them to Coach Wells after the game, something that I think has never been done in the history in a college football game, having the fans asking coaches the questions.
Well, it's why the beauty of a platform like Facebook just works well, ladies and gentlemen. It works well.
And Francisco with an update on Adewale Adeoye, who's being treated on the sidelines.
Everybody heard Francisco say that, so now they're all sending questions, even in the stadium. They're just on their phones, Facebooking away.
Everybody's got Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook. Everybody can access Facebook anytime. So it makes these so impressive. On the run and incomplete. Jordan Love had a man open.
Did have a chance
Gerald
there.
Bright unable to run that thing down. Penalty marker.
It was just a missed opportunity from Jordan Love. Missed Bright, but let's
sticking it out.
The kids are there, man. They're there.
Man.
They're showing the love for their squad. Little man's a little apprehensive, but that's fine. Oh no, there it is. He feels a little bit better about it. More people sending questions on Facebook. I don't know why I just consider anytime we see a fan on their phone, they're sending a question through Facebook. It's probably not the case, but I can dream. We take another look at Jordan Love, the freshman quarterback, trying to fill Kent Myers' shoes here pretty soon. He'll certainly have a chance of getting some quality minutes here today. I think he's looked good thus far, Chris. A couple of throws he'd like to have back, like that last one to Gerald Bright. Bright was wide open on that corner route.
Indeed he was. And that's a handoff to El Toro Allen, close to the first down. He might have coughed that thing up. Idaho State excited. They might have the football.
And Allen has been playing so well today, running hard with it. You have to think that maybe he's trying to get the extra effort there. Now, that was just in traffic. Nice shot getting hands on the ball. But he's got to be able to secure that with 2 hands running in traffic. El Toro Allen has played such a terrific game thus far. Can't cough the football up at all. Look at how much fun we are having on Facebook. Look at that. Looking at the comments there. Feet up, hanging out. And that's big time right there.
And they did rule that a fumble. Idaho State has the football. Utah State used its challenge early in the game. Not sure they would even try it here. But the backup quarterback is into the ball game. That is Gunnar Amos, sophomore from Idaho. He has thrown 10 balls in his career, 3 for 10, 33 yards. He's a transfer from Idaho. Darius, you're going to see Idaho over the weekend, and Idaho State's going to see a lot of Idaho coming up very soon, because Idaho's dropping down from FBS to FCS and into the conference that Idaho State is in, the Big Sky.
Yeah, I think it's one of the first times that has ever happened. But for University of Idaho, the rest of their sports have been at the FCS level since 2014. Football will get there next year.
Number 79.
So they will be doing their game Saturday against UNLV. But back to Gunnar Amos, you know, he did transfer from Idaho. One of the reasons that he did that, Chris, was because they were trying to turn him into a defensive back. And so he decided that DB was not for me. He decided to make the transfer down a level.
And wouldn't that be something if, you know, a year or two down the road, he's the starting quarterback here and he goes up against the Idaho Vandals and goes to show him that, hey, you should have kept me a quarterback.
Certainly would be nice to get a taste of their own medicine there. We'll see what this flag is now. Again, send us your comments on Facebook.
Illegal snap, number 58, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
I'm going to get Collins there, the center. 48-13, 6.5 minutes left in this game. We got a couple people who have won the question game. The questions are going to be asked to Coach Wells. Anyone else who has some interesting comments, maybe Francisco can take them and use them when he gets a chance to talk to Coach after the game.
Amos looking to the sideline and incomplete. There's a lot of people interested in this game as well because of the score. I'm sure some checking in right now on Facebook. I've seen some comments. Hey, got a friendly wager on the game? Uh-oh. Amos could not handle the snap. Idaho State pounces on it with 6 minutes to play.
Man, that's a tough one there because that ball hit him right in the hands. It wasn't a bad snap, at least from this vantage point. It just looked like Amos dropped it. We'll take a look here. I was a little high, but he took his eyes off the ball, but he still got both hands on it. He's got to be able to come down with that. You're always looking for teaching moments as coaches. Certainly one of them for a young quarterback.
And I haven't been told by anybody that I'm not allowed to talk about spreads or anything like that, so I'm just going to say, we said it at the open. It was 33.5. Okay. So this is really tight. 1.5 points we're hanging on right here. And Darius, I know that ball is blocked.
Wow.
Utah State still chomping. Louis Compton came right on through.
Louis Compton, big time block there. He's another one of those starting linebackers. So Matt Wells keeping his starters out there on special teams. And it has worked out thus far. Compton gets the block there. There was a number of guys. You see Compton coming up the middle there. Nice job with his hands low, right at the foot of the punter. To be able to get his hands on it. I mean, there were a number of guys at this. This was a fire drill at the punter.
Louis got hit in the head, too. I think he was dazed a little bit coming off the field. Not much celebration from him, but a blocked punt for Louis Compton, who had a fumble recovery and a sack last week against Wisconsin. It's been a great start to the season for him. Tell he was in a little bit of pain there. Somebody lost a shoe. Somebody blew a tire up there near midfield.
As Hervey gets the carry. He's got some quality minutes today for the Aggies. Still wanting to see Jordan Love air it out. Show him some love. Let him throw the ball.
May do it here. Look into the flat. Now he'll run. Get down, kid. Why get down when I can get another 10 yards? Flag is out again at the end of the play. So we have another Idaho State player shaken up.
A heads-up play by Love here to recognize there's nowhere to go with the ball. You know, all that green grass in front of him, and then the yak yards. Nice stiff arm, pushing for another few yards, and it's a nice job. But looks like we got an injured player here for the Bengals.
Looks like it might be cramps.
That's a Fox there. Probably did not have enough pickle juice before the game, Chris.
Got to drink the juice before the game, not during.
Drink the pickle juice. Take another quick look at Love with these yak yards. Watch the stiff arm here.
I guess.
Get down.
Hey, when you're a true freshman and you're getting a look out there, and you don't know when you're going to get another, I can understand why you wouldn't slide there. I think the starting quarterback has to slide. Backup does not.
Personal foul. Targeting. Number 83, offense. 15-yard penalty. Replay second down. The play is under further review.
Aaron Vaughn's, the wide receiver, was called for targeting there. And we did not see that.
That is a tough one.
We are being told that we do have this on replay. If you take a look at the right side of your screen as they take a look and review this to see if this should be. It's important because if this holds, Vaughn's going to have to sit out the first half next game.
Yeah, you'll see him come in.
Oh.
That looks close. It looks like his shoulder, though, was what touched first. I have to see exactly there. The hit was on Razor. Tate Razor took the shot. I want to say, at least from my view, Chris, it looked like the shoulder got there first.
But is there such a thing as a defenseless player, and it doesn't matter if it's not a helmet? If you lower the shoulder into a player who's basically defenseless.
Vaughn's come in right here on Razor.
And go high on him. He did go high, not at the helmet, but
it was higher, yeah. Interesting to see when they go take a look at this, what they come up with. Again, blocking around the play. You have got to keep your head in the swivel in college football. Look at all these bodies on the ground for the Bengals. Guys not looking around, taking shots around the field. It's a pretty good look from the top there. Let's see what they come back with.
Well, Carson Terrell certainly didn't think that was going to be a penalty because he gave his teammate a little pat on the helmet for that hit. And 10, 15 years ago, we wouldn't be thinking anything of it.
We would not be having this conversation now. I mean, I can remember back when I was playing in the earlier 2000s at Notre Dame, targeting was not a big thing, but it's certainly a big thing now in football with everything that's come out with research, safety concerns from all the different levels. Let's get the call here.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. The initial contact was in the shoulder. It will be Utah State's ball, first down in the 25-yard line.
So that's good for Vaughn's because, as we know now in college football, if you get a targeting penalty, get ejected in the second half, you have to sit out the first half of the next game, and that's against Wake Forest. And Vaughn's is a player on the two-deep roster. Hasn't done a ton so far this season, but a junior that is getting playing time.
Yeah, he plays on special teams, too. One of the guys that gets some reps there, so they need him out there. You need all hands on deck. And then Wake Forest next week if you're the Aggies.
DJ Nelson into the game for Utah State at the quarterback position. So they're going three deep now.
Everybody getting some reps. I love to see it. I love to see it. And Toro Allen still in the game for the Aggies, but the 48 points tonight, most since 2015.
And look at who they did it against. Boise State.
Boise. Wow. This team.
El Toro Allen sets up first and goal. Quarterback DJ Nelson from right here in Logan, Utah.
I'm sure his parents and family are excited to see him get some love out there.
Timeout. Idaho State. It's first.
Nelson was part of the state championship team here in Utah back in 2011. So he's very familiar with the local folks here. Logan, Utah, about 125,000 in the metro. It's 50,000 in the city proper. This place has been growing since the 1930s. About 25 minutes south of Idaho, and you go 90 minutes or so to the east and you can run into Wyoming. And as I mentioned, it's about an hour and 20 minutes from Salt Lake City. If you plan on taking a trip out here, plan on flying into Salt Lake City and taking a scenic drive. Just hopefully the haze is gone, because they've had some wildfires up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's been real hazy the last few days. We talked a lot about former players at Utah State like Bobby Wagner. How about Jared Allen in Idaho State? Defensive lineman back in the early 2000s. Was a great defensive end, especially when he was with the Vikings.
Man, oh man, was he a beast in the league. You see the sacks there, 136. He's one of the best to ever do it. Former Bengal.
Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2009. We have a stoppage in play. Let's head on down to Francisco on the sideline.
Well, one more thing about Jared Allen, besides being an amazing defensive end, he was actually training a lot of fighters that were in the UFC. So not only football, but mixed martial arts for Jared Allen.
Oh, wow. I would not want to fight that guy.
Man, you see him.
I wouldn't want to fight anybody, but
well, it just makes me think of Herschel Walker, another guy who's former football player, great MMA. He's a fighter now. I tell you, something about that mentality that just scares me. We see a fumble there, and Nelson's able to jump on the ball. Looked like that was
the ball was fumbled and recovered by the offense.
Quarterback running back exchange issue there. Sometimes that third string quarterback, Chris, doesn't always get the reps with some of the guys who play a lot at the running back position. So consistency is a big deal in the mesh point and then handing the football off with ball control. Got to take care of the football.
It's 3rd and goal. He's got El Toro Allen in the backfield. He gives it to Allen, picking his way inside the 5-yard line as we move under 3 minutes to play in this football game. Started about 3 hours ago. Thanks for joining us here. Stadium's coverage exclusively on Facebook all season long. Once again, our next stream is on Saturday in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The Lobos hosting New Mexico State. And another field goal opportunity for Mr. Eberle, who's been perfect tonight. Dominic Eberle out of Germany, right on through. And Utah State has crossed the 50-point mark.
Well, it makes it a 38-point game now, Chris. So you talk about your Vegas odds.
Well, Idaho State's got a chance here.
They certainly do. Let's go down to the field with Francisco.
Well, before preparing for a post-game interview with Coach Wells, Paige, thank you very much for sharing the knowledge. This is going to be fun. We'll be back doing more Facebook games here in Logan.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you guys again. It's been a blast. Thanks for having me with you tonight.
So, guys, stay posted to our stadium page. We're going to be posting the schedule soon. We have a game in New Mexico on Saturday, but then again, we'll be back at Utah State twice during the season. So enjoy it. And then I have your questions for Coach Wells. So you guys, you know who you are. You know what you are. So get ready and take a listen in a little bit.
All right, you two. Thank you very much. Thanks to Paige, the big girl on campus this weekend, I'm sure, here in Logan, Utah. Matt Wells going to pick up his first win of the season, even up that record of 1-1 after the loss at Wisconsin. Was an assistant coach here for Gary Anderson in 2011 and 2012 when they really rose to prominence. Won bowl games in his first 2 seasons here at Utah State, but just 3 wins last season. The athletic director met with him to discuss some changes. He thinks he's got his best recruiting class. He's playing a lot of youngsters, got a lot of the big games, the really important games at home.
It certainly does, but a lot of new players being inserted into this team. Francisco mentioned the offensive line and how all these guys, in terms of the starters, had their first game together last week, second game together today, trying to build some consistency. But I think Matt Wells is certainly the right man for the job. I've had a chance to interview him a few times at the Mountain West Media Days over the past few years, and he just seems to have a great handle on what he wants to do and how to improve this program. And when you have a lot of young players playing for you, Chris, that's a good thing, because these guys aren't going to do anything but get better and better and better.
Got to be happy with his new offensive coordinator in this game, David Yost. And I like how real he was with us when we talked to him a couple days ago. I asked him about David Yost, the offensive coordinator, who is his 4th offensive coordinator in 4 seasons. No other team has gone through that. No other team has had the same coach for 4 seasons and a different offensive coordinator every year. So I asked him, hey, is Yost going to be around a while? He said, listen, it's college football 2017. We may not be here next week. Who knows? He has a good year. He's gone.
Could get plucked away.
But we hope,
we
hope he sticks with us.
No, for sure. You know, we had a chance to visit with the commissioner, Craig Thompson, at halftime, and he talked about all the great coaches across the Mountain West and guys who have gone on to have terrific careers. So it's one of those things that's interesting in college football. You have a short period with each team to win. If you can't win soon, you don't have a whole lot of time. But when you're good and you're on the rise, they will pluck you away as an assistant coach in a heartbeat.
Indeed, they will be on the winning end tonight. Utah State taking care of Idaho State. Both teams will be 1-1, and a long week to prepare for Wake Forest. A game I think they can compete in. I mean, you watch that first half against Wisconsin, they were competing, and we're talking with Coach Wells. He took a lot of positives out of that. I mean, all hell broke loose in that second half, and they had a lot of guys playing in positions they'd never played at before against a team that some are picking to go to the college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean, they had an excellent half. When you watch that game, I know when I looked at it, you know, I saw a team that did all the right things. They were aggressive on offense, aggressive on defense as well. And I think if they can bring that, combining with the momentum from a win this week, they'll have a chance to put some hurting on Wake Forest next week. An extra day of practice is always helpful as well.
Ready to have some fun deep into the night as they belt out Sweet Caroline. That's a song that I've heard at a lot of college football stadiums lately. Doesn't seem like a football song. They do it at Pitt. They do it at Iowa State before the fourth quarter. They do it many places. Neil Diamond on a hop. And that's Jordan Nathan, freshman out of Monrovia, California, who's seen a lot of action so far this season. Real high on him. And Matt Wells is going to pick up a win in front of the home crowd and just feel better about themselves after what happened in the second half at Wisconsin and what could have been with the ejection to their best player, Jalen Davis. Hey, that's a Cubs W. I guess it works. Not the same colors, though. You got, I mean, Utah State's navy blue.
They try.
That's your ball game, folks. The clock will run out 51-13. We're going to hear from Matt Wells in just a little bit. We'll wrap things up for you on Facebook. We appreciate you sticking with us tonight. The third of 15 Facebook exclusive college football games. And we'll be back here at Utah State later this season as well. Interested to watch how Utah State grows throughout the season.
Absolutely. the quarterback, Kent Myers, I mean, he was better than advertised today, especially after his performance last week. He showed some inconsistency, but he really got the ball rolling today. You can't talk about success for the Aggies without talking about Jalen Davis, their incredible corner. He was terrific today as well, as we get a look at Rob Finney, head coach for the Bengals. They came out and gave up a decent fight in the beginning. Chris didn't go the way that they had hoped, but the Bengals certainly got some valuable experience on a big stage.
Always fun to sing along with the band after a home victory. I'm sure Francisco's dancing his way down there over to Coach Wells. 9 bowl teams on the schedule this year for Utah State. Already played one of them in Wisconsin. And they've got another one coming up next in Wake Forest. Fun atmosphere in Logan tonight. Students showed up, showed out, striped the stadium. And the party will continue throughout the night as we send it down to Francisco X Rivera with Coach Matt Wells.
Coach, as you know, we're making history on Facebook. They watch us in over 10 countries. They have some questions for you. This is the first time we do this. First one, how do you keep your team focused when the game was so lopsided early?
Well, you just try to come out and do what we do in terms of that. And I think it was good early, and then I don't think our twos played very well, to be real honest with you.
A lot of people are also asking, how does this game prepare you for Wake Forest next week?
Well, you got a lot of things to clean up on, but there's certainly a lot of good things early on. We did what we needed to do running the football, and I thought stopped the run pretty good early.
Anything specific that you'd like to add as well, and what you'd like to see?
Well, the biggest thing is we got a lot of youth playing, a lot of talented kids, but a lot of youthful kids, and we just got to grow them up really, really quick.
Thank you very much, Coach. Congratulations. All right, guys, so we're going to come back to Utah State throughout the season. We want to thank you once again for being with us on this joint venture between Stadium and Facebook. And now we're going to go back to the booth one more time. Guys, it was a pleasure.
Francisco, thank you very much. With Darius Walker, I'm Chris Hassel. It's fun. I mean, we're doing games on Facebook. We can wear polos. We can talk about whatever we want.
Respond to comments.
Utah State covered the spread, buddy boy. Jalen Davis came back, and I think, I know the quarterback, Kent Myers, is great, but Jalen Davis, after being ejected against Wisconsin, coming up with 2 interceptions and a pick 6 to really set the tone in the first half and put it out of reach early.
I think that was the big difference, was just his presence on the field, because last week against Wisconsin, I mean, they were just a different team without their starting cornerback. The energy that he brings, the passion that he plays with, but more importantly, his ability on the field was really a difference maker today.
Kent Myers, 24 for 26, 323 yards and a couple touchdowns through the air. He also rushed the ball for a couple touchdowns. The kid they were maybe a little bit worried about after the Wisconsin game, because he threw 3 interceptions and he just couldn't get anything going in the second half. They wanted him to feel good coming into this thing. He answered the bell tonight.
He really did. And I mean, you have to look at the throws that he made last week versus the ones that he made this week, where he had some accuracy issues a week ago, but today, not so much. But also the running game for him was really what opened up, I think, for this offense for Utah State. He was able to run the football as a quarterback out there. When you combine that with the fact that maybe they'll get Lindsey back to retool within a week or two, they've got some good things going heading into Wake Forest.
Well, even without Lindsey, El Toro Allen had 103 yards and a touchdown. A guy that was 4th on the depth chart going into the season opener. And like you said during the broadcast, that's the difference between FBS and FCS teams.
Is really having the depth at each position. They lose a guy like Lindsey, there's no drop-off whatsoever. They got 2 or 3 guys that can really carry the load at the running back position for them. But next week, New Mexico State at New Mexico. It's on Facebook again. I'm Darius Walker, for Chris Hassel, Francisco X Riviera. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. This has been a production on Facebook.